when I got the job, mind you, I'd never really even been to Hollywood before. Growing up here, I'd never really gone to Hollywood ever. So the first week that I was there, like Heath Ledger came by, Slash. I had to walk him to his room one time, and
you had to hold him.
His wife was the birthday party.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to walk them to their hotel room, and after that, I was like, all right, I'm not going to join the Coast Guard. I think this is where I'm going to be. This is either heaven or hell. I don't know which one it is, but. Is George's office?
Yeah.
Cool.
And so he did like all this artwork, and all these.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Whatever you want, Dad.
Oh, fuck.
Whatever comes to mind. Whatever the.
I was going to say, I think it would be good. You know, it would be probably good for you guys. Everyone likes to hear those old stories of just like old Hollywood, because working at the Chateau.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all those old stories.
I remember that that time that I was at the Fonda Theater.
Yeah.
And then I think I like posted it, and then you had seen that I was there. You're like, oh, like come through. I was with Alyssa and this dude Eddie, and I think you guys said like, oh yeah, like this dude over here was like kind of like trying to like flex, but these girls like was like offering like shots or whatever. And you're like, dude, those are like $300 shots, and I was like, what? And you're like, that's what you're drinking. I was like, I'm not paying no $300. You're like, no, don't worry about it. And then it was that actress that came up. There was some like soap opera actress. She came up and she was like, oh hey Anthony. She was like closing out her tab, and I was like, that's I don't know, Dr. Quinn medicine woman. And you're like, you don't know where you're at, do you? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, yeah, dude, like famous people stay here like all the time.
Yeah. I was asking them, I was like, what do you guys want to talk about? And then I was like, because I worked at, have you ever heard of the Hotel Chateau Marmont?
Yeah.
I worked there at 18, I got a job there.
Uh-huh.
And I was there for like 12 years. And so I basically grew up in that place, but it was funny because I brought him down one time.
One sec. This I want it on you. Let me sorry.
Touch it.
Are you a little close? There you go.
Nice. No, we were talking about so when I was 18, are you filming already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was quick. We were talking about when he came down to the hotel. He was talking about he was at the Fonda Theater. What actress was that?
It was like a soap opera. Like it was an older actress, like in like her
Really?
50s or 60s.
Remember who that was?
The Chateau Marmont.
Yeah. So I didn't know.
I've gone there.
I didn't know what it was, right? He was just like, oh, like come down to like the bar that I work at.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me about this guy. He's just like, oh, this guy's kind of like flex and like telling these girls and like take whatever you guys want, like whatever shot you guys want.
Yeah, he was with some girl. He brought some girl.
It was like, yeah, I was with Alyssa and Eddie.
Okay.
Right?
Eddie who?
So Alyssa's friend.
Okay.
And then he's just like, when the guy saw the bill, which was like $1,000, he was just like, what the fuck? Like, no, never mind.
And then, never mind. He's like, yeah.
He's like, oh, never
Can I wash dishes?
And I was like, what is he drinking? And he's just like, same thing you're drinking. I was like, Dick, I'm not paying $300 for a shot. He says, like, no, don't worry about it. And then I was just like, dude, it's that expensive? And then an actress, again, like an older actress lady, like came in. She's like, hey, Anthony, like, can I close out? And I was like,
was it Rosario Dawson?
no, I know.
No?
Sorry.
Okay.
No. Older. Like, again, like Dr. Quinn medicine woman type age, you know?
I don't know, man.
Like Jane Fonda?
I don't know.
Something like an older actress.
Okay.
And then I was just like, that's a famous lady. He's like, you don't know where you're at, do you? And I was just like, that's also true. He's like, dude,
how long did you work there?
Dude, well, so I worked there for 12 years, I think. Maybe a little, between 10 and 12 years. I worked there on and off. But it was funny, though, how I got the job because I was actually going to join the Coast Guard. And my mom was terrified. She was like, no. She was like,
the Coast Guard?
The Coast Guard, yeah. I don't know.
You don't know how to swim.
She was like, no, I don't want you to do that. And I was like, had this vision of like, oh, I'll join the Coast Guard and like jump out of planes and do this, right? Jump out of a helicopter. And she was like, well, I always see this, I read People magazine and there's this famous hotel I already called them and they said they're hiring. And I was like, really? And I was like, right. I was like 18 years old, like fresh into the world, right? And so I go down there. She's like, yeah, I already set you up an interview. And I was like, what? I was like, what?
Did your mom do your resume also?
So my resume was like, works for dad.
You're like, but I want
pull the weeds.
You're like, I want to be Ashton Kutcher so bad. That movie where he's in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, exactly. And so I go down there, and dude, it was like when you're in that, they're very like it's very tense. It's very tense. Like everyone's like always like very tense at first, and so they give me a job as a busboy at the bar Marmont when it was just opening up, and so from when I got the job, mind you, I'd never really even been to Hollywood before. Growing up here, I'd never really gone to Hollywood ever. So the first week that I was there, like Heath Ledger came by, Slash. I had to walk him to his room one time, and
you had to hold him.
His wife was the birthday party.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to walk them to their hotel room, and after that, I was like, all right, I'm not going to join the Coast Guard. I think this is where I'm going to be. This is either heaven or hell. I don't know which one it is, but
dude, what, like as a busboy, you got to walk people to their room?
Okay, no. So he didn't know. So I was at the bar next door, right? There's a hotel and there's a bar, and he was staying at the hotel, but he wanted me to walk him through the back because there's like a back entrance to get to the hotel. So I needed to escort him to the back to the hotel room, and that's when, like, when we walked to the back, I took him through there, and after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not. This is where I'm going to live.
Do you have any like blackmail material? Are you like what is it? What's that show? The blackmail one? That's not Ray Liotta.
Epstein Island? Did he pass?
Right. No, Ray Donovan.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff.
He's a fixer.
He's a fixer. That's the show, Ray Donovan.
Yeah, it's Ray Donovan.
No, I've never seen it.
So it's on Showtime. Basically, he's a fixer in Hollywood where, let's say, like a famous celeb has a hooker, she ends up dead, and he has to come in and cover it up. But then he ends up getting the evidence, so then later he can blackmail you. It's a good show, dude.
I've never seen it.
Good show.
I've never seen it.
With Liev Schreiber?
No.
He's Sabretooth in X-Men.
I've never been a big like fantasy movie guy.
Oh,
it's fantasy. It's like all real life, bro. What are you talking about?
He's also the voice for HBO, like the boxing. The what is it called? What was that segment that they do before there's like a big fight? He narrates a lot of stuff too.
Okay. No, I don't know. No.
But you had a lot of fun,
dude. It was so much fun. Because
especially as an 18-year-old, bro.
18 years, dude. I remember the first time. So there was a really big celebrity who lived behind. There's like an alleyway behind the chateau, and there's a bunch of houses, and he lived right behind there. So he'd order food because he liked our burgers, and so they told me like, hey, you need to run this food to his house, and I was like, all right. I go and I buzz the button at the gate, and he knows my face from the hotel. So he's like, oh, hey, Anthony, come on in, right? So I go inside. Mind you, I'm 18 years old. This is like maybe like my second week at the job. And he's like, oh, yeah, just go put the food. I have like a tray of food. He's like, go put it down over there by the pool. It's like, all right. So I walk out by the pool, and there's just naked girls everywhere jumping in and out of the pool, like just something out of the movies, dude. And I was like, all right. Do you need anything else?
I was going to sign up for the Coast Guard. I actually know how to put on suntanning lotion as well.
Yeah, it was a great time, man. Like the amount of stories that we have from working at that place was great. Did you ever come to the house when I lived behind the Comedy Store?
No. I remember knowing you when you lived over there. It was like I don't know if you can say his name, Pauly Shore's house.
Yeah, it was his mom's house, Mitzi, who owned the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
That was a fun time too, man, because we lived right off of Sunset Boulevard, and so I would go to the Comedy Store a lot. And when I would go there at that time, like Theo Von was just coming up, Bobby Lee was barely coming up. It was so much fun seeing those guys, like in the original material. At that time, but yeah, Pauly Shore would stop by sometimes, and dude, Hollywood was such a blast.
You like it was around that time because again, I met you when you were older than 18, because you're a couple years older than me, right?
Okay,
yeah. But
how did you guys meet?
So when
I Grindr. That was like the first.
Yeah. It was a coffee app, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The coffee. To find the nearest coffee shop.
Before it is what it is now.
What is this?
I want some frappuccino.
Extra foam. Stirred counterclockwise. But I used to work at the airport with Andrew Huffman.
Do you know Andrew?
Which one? The tatted one?
No, that's Ryan. So his best friend. Okay. I used to work with both of them, right? And then he used to live in a barn on Chino, right?
Legit barn, like a legit red barn that had a room in it.
Yeah, so it was like a duplex. There was like an apartment downstairs and an apartment upstairs. So went over to his house one time, and then we started talking, and he asked me, he's like, "Oh, did you grow up around here?" And I was like, "Nah, man." I was like, "I live in Rialto." He's like, "Oh, shit." And
so then, you gangster?
No.
I did. I went to Rialto High School for a minute.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was an experience on its own, dude.
So we'll get to that. But he told me, and I was just like, but I went to school in Rancho. He's like, "Oh," he's like, "I know some girl from Rancho." And I was like, "Where'd you grow up?" He's like, "Chino." And I was like, "I know some girl from Chino." I was like, "Who do you know in Rancho?" And then he said the name, and I was just like, "I know that girl, and so do you."
I know that girl?
Oh, yeah.
You can say her name, and then we'll bleep it. Oh.
And then he was just like, "You know her?"
Firecracker, dude.
And then I was...
So hold on. You're talking... This conversation is with him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "Who?" I was like, "Who do you know in Rancho?" And I was just like... And then he was like... he said... I was like... And then he was just like, "You know her?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." He's just like, "Well, that's like a common name." And I was just like, "Short little girl."
A common Mexican name?
I was like, "Short little girl with the buffalo butt." And I was like, "Lives." He's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "You do know her."
And then at 3 rooms.
He's like, "Who do you know in Chino?" And then I was like, "Sarah." And then he's just like, "Sarah." It's like, oh, so we ended up both knowing Sarah Big Butt, right?
Okay.
And then he's just like, "How do you know?"
We're gonna have to bleep so much of this.
He's just like, "How do you know?" And I was like, "My brother dated her." And he's just like, "You're Caesar's brother?" And then I was just like, "No." He's just like, "Oh," he's just like, "You're the one before." He's just like, "You're the other brother or the other boyfriend."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." He's just like, "Oh shit." And then from there we just started hanging out.
Started going to coffee shops together.
You know what's funny? Eddie called me today.
Swole Eddie?
No, little Eddie.
Where's you?
Nice guy Eddie.
Oh.
And he brought up today.
Really? I haven't thought about her in a long time.
Yeah, so he's selling his house, and he's like, "Guess who's doing the loan?" I'm like, "Fucking." And he's like, "Yup." So he's like, he's like, "Man, you let that go. You could have been one of the." Shut the fuck up, Dick. I saw her just a month ago at Fleming's. But I told him, like, I see her all the time, man. Mm-hmm. And it's cordial. Like, say hi.
I haven't seen her or talked to her. And actually, no. She did stop by when I was in Hollywood for a minute. She did come by, but I hadn't talked to her before that. But I haven't talked to her since then. That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. I've seen her at the gym with some dude that she was, I don't know if she's still with him, like tall, tatted white boy.
Yeah, she's married. She's married to him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice guy. Like, gave the cordial head nod.
Right.
But it's funny because I immediately started calling him the Wanderer. Because, dude, like sometimes...
Dion?
Yeah, Dion and the Belmonts. I'd be hanging out with Andrew or something like that, or like he would call me, or like I would call him, and I'd be like, "Yo, like, where you at?" And he's like, "I'm in New York right now." And I'm like, "The fuck are you doing out there?"
Broke as fuck in New York too.
But
no money.
Tell him what you do,
dude. Well, so working at the Chateau, right? It changed my mindset completely to where I was meeting so many people from around the world that it opened a lot of opportunities. And I always took them, even if I didn't know where it was going to go or anything. And so when the New York opportunity came up, it was because, what was I doing? I was trying to save money to go to Dubai. And this is 2007. 2007, mind you, I'm broke as fuck, dude. Like, I don't have any money, right? And so I'm just cleaning tables and doing what I can. I'm like 20 years old, right? I had met this girl at Burning Man in 2007. She's like, "Oh, I live in Dubai." Well, like little Australian accent, right? And I was like, "Oh, really?" It's like, "Yeah, come out." And I was like, "I'm gonna hold you to that." So I go, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna make a bunch of money, and then I'm gonna go to Dubai." And then so I went to New York, didn't make any money because everything's so expensive there. And then I went to Dubai. That was a wild time because it was when the real estate was booming, right? And so I get there and like it was New Year's Eve going into 2008, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get a job in real estate, like here, because it's just like here you get your license and you start selling homes, right?" I didn't look up anything about getting my license in Dubai. I thought it was the same thing, and so I land in Dubai, and I immediately go to like where I knew someone was working at a real estate office, and I was like, "Hey, just wanted to apply for the job, like blah blah blah. I'm motivated. I was 21." And they're like, "Oh, well, you need like a college degree. Like, there's all these like things that you needed." And I was like, "Well, I don't have any of that." so I ended up going.
Like, Mom,
you're like, "I need a diploma."
And mind you, this is like during the war, like when the shit was going like right over. We're right there. We're in Saudi Arabia, basically, Iraq, and so I remember I was like, "I don't know what to do, dude." I'd been there like 3 days, and I was like.
But how did you get money to, well, first of all, go to New York and then end up in Dubai?
I got money just from working at the bar, Chateau. And then I knew people from Chateau that used to come in all the time. Because New York and LA are like the same thing. It's the same people that go back and forth, right? And so when I went to New York, I'd already known people. So I had someone that was going to give me a job working at the Box. Have you heard of the Box in New York? This place is wild, dude. Like, if this is before everything got really PC. And the stuff that went on the Box was like was insane. Like I remember my first night there, this guy came out bouncing on a ball completely naked, bouncing like with his head on a ball, like completely naked. Completely naked, right? And he's just flapping back and forth, and I'm just like looking around like I'm the bar back, and I'm like, where am I right now, man? Right? And then after that, like they had like a show. This is where it really got bad, and like it would never fly in today's world. They had a show where it was an R. Kelly skit, and it was a girl in a bed who dressed like a little girl, and the bed was spinning, and then the guy comes out and he pretends to pee on her, and I'm like. When mind you, I don't even know anything about R. Kelly at this time, right? So everyone's laughing and blah blah blah. And I think back about that skit, and I'm like, that would never fly in today's world, dude. This is like 2008.
I think it would fly. So I just went to. Not like I want to see that, right? But
I just went here. I heard about this, so I went.
He's like, I heard all these allegations about Diddy, so I went to his house.
No. So I just went to the nightclub that Bruno Mars has in Vegas.
Which one's that?
The Pinky Ring in Vegas.
Such a good name.
Yeah, dude. And I was just walking by. There was a line of people. But it's what happens when you're dressed a certain way, you have a certain style. It's like, yo, to the front. Like, come inside. It was opening weekend. And the guy's like, look, the only thing is, he goes, no cell phones, period. No cell phones allowed, no recording. We see you guys recording, immediately out.
That was like at the hotel, the Chateau, too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And the people I was with, they were like, dude, this is fucking badass. Everybody's talking to each other.
Isn't that wild?
Everybody's talking to each other. Like, met some clothing designer from New York, some random dude. Just random people that you end up connecting with, and people doing crazy shit that otherwise you'd be like, oh, is someone gonna record me? Yeah, because I don't think most of us are that fucking PC. Like in our just our conversations, we're not. We don't get that fucking offended. It's people out there that get offended on behalf of the conversations we're having, but behind closed doors. So someone might. Do the R. Kelly
that's how it was at the hotel. No one was allowed to take pictures, and no one was allowed to bring out their phones like to record anything. And so that's why celebrities, I think, feel really safe there, because it's like they're really protected.
What's it? It's an old place, right?
It's very old. Yeah, it was actually built in the 1920s. and it was originally supposed to be an apartment building, and they're going to sell them. And they ended up, it was during Depression and no one was buying them. So they turned it into the hotel. And that's when it turned into like, it started coming up as like the celebrity spot to hang out. Like Led Zeppelin rode their motorcycles through there. The Doors used to stay there all the time. Like it was old history.
Yeah, it has that kind of like old Hollywood, like
the old. Yeah, I see.
You know what I mean? Like where like the celebrities would hang out and go and like write music. And again, like I remember you telling me like Lady Gaga stayed there was like 3 months, 6 months, or whatever it is. Like people will go and live there and like write music.
How big is it? Like how many rooms?
I know the penthouse is room 62, so there's at least 62 rooms in the hotel. But then there's like bungalows.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's total of 62, but it's around there, I think.
And if I recall, and it may be a different place, but it's like on a small street, right?
No, it's on Sunset, right off Sunset. So just past Crescent Heights.
Like right past the Comedy Store.
No, before the Comedy Store.
Sorry, before.
Yeah.
So if you're going
there's
west,
like a little side street like that turns. It's like white, black.
It goes off to the right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the same. Yeah, I remember.
You know where Pinche's Tacos is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right across the street from there.
Okay, gotcha.
Isn't that funny? The name it Pinche's Tacos because no one speaks Spanish. Yeah.
One of the things that he forgot to mention about New York is that he was the one dressed up as a little girl in the skit.
Because I was part of the show.
But I remember asking him, like, he would just tell me that he would just get a job as a barback. But the thing is, I mean, he doesn't look at. I mean, he still does. But dude, back in the day, handsome fucking dude.
No, I mean, still look at his fucking eyelashes.
Dude, I know, it's so dreamy.
For real, we're about to zoom in on those.
I just got them done, man.
Oh, did you?
I just got them done.
Just got the extension.
Yeah, I'll give you the link to my lady.
Let me know.
That's what I remember him as. Like he would just have some money. I think when you went to New York, you told me you had like $400 in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then he just gets a job as a barback, and then he would get promoted to a good-looking fucking bartender and make connections and like meet people.
Well, but the thing is like working at the Chateau, what it did was it gave me, because a lot of people wanted to go there and try and get in. It gave me access to hanging out with with like top tier, like elite people. You know what I mean? Like the people that you wanted to surround yourself with. You know, and so that's what it did at the hotel. Was I was hanging out with all these people who had connections and knew this and knew that, so it automatically put me into a circle that a lot of people, try and get into.
Well, the thing is, what I have always found. Yesterday, I was at a show. Right, I was at a Starfucker show, somewhere in Orange County, and Observatory. Yeah, and I don't know if it's the gift of the gab, like the way we were raised, but talking to security, the bouncers, figuring out like what the venue size is, like weird conversations about that. Then with the bar back, then with the bar guy,
and
everybody. I'm just fucking chopping it up, and it's like people are coming up and saying hi to me, like as if they fucking know me.
Yeah,
I don't know no one.
Yeah,
and when you're in Hollywood or in any other place, if you have that type of personality, that means that you're open. People just automatically gravitate to you, and then opportunities present themselves.
Oh yeah, but you gotta be able to spot that opportunity and not really take advantage of it.
No,
but you actually just become friends with a lot of these people, and they feed you information. And the one thing that I learned is people that are very successful and have a lot of knowledge want to spill that knowledge out on you. And so they start telling you, they become friends with you, they come in the bar, and you meet a lot of people. Like I remember when I worked the door there for a minute, there was a guy that dressed like Jesus and he used to walk up and down.
Oh yeah.
His name was Kevin, and he was the nicest fucking guy ever, dude. I mean, he's Jesus. And so he was the nicest guy. I think he passed away.
Was it really him, or was he just leaning into the character?
He was a comedian, actually. He was actually a comedian, and he used to walk through the Comedy Store and like go and touch people on the head and like do random stuff. But I remember I'd walk home like wasted, like 22, like trying to walk home, and you see Jesus in the distance. You're like, oh,
the fuck.
Did it happen already?
Like shit, dude. But like what he's talking about as far as like connections, right? one of the times that we're at Huffman's house, we're talking. He's just like, you want to go to France? And I was like, bitch, I took French in high school. Yes. He's just like, I know there's a girl. And I was just like, bitch, no, you don't. He's just like, she's a actress, right? Like, I don't know if she was on TV or movies or something like that. And he fucking FaceTimes this girl and is just like, hello, Anthony, how are you? And then he's just like, hey, my friend and I are going to come to France to visit you. And she's like, okay. Like, she has like a red carpet event or whatever. Dude. And then
this is Italian. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
What's the French
one? But she's just like, like, I have a red carpet event. He's just like, do you have any friends for my friend? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, your French accent is so good.
Thank you.
It's very good.
Parlez-vous français?
Donnez-moi des jambons. I'm always asking for ham
sandwich, and fromage. And then another time he hits me up and he's just like, hey, do you know anybody with money? And then I was like, what kind of money? He's just like, well, Richard Branson, I had dinner with him. And I was like, nah, dude, I don't know people with that kind of money. But like, those are the type of like connections and the type of...
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like I said, like you just become friends with people, and it's not like... So the way that, even like to where I am now, the only reason why I am where I am now is because I hung out with people that were really successful. And they would present an opportunity like, oh, we're doing this. And then I would go out and try and find how to help them. Not really take from them, but like, hey, maybe I can help you in some way.
Add value.
Add value to what you're doing. And so that's how I was able to, that's how I learned about Bitcoin in like 2012, I think.
He has a Bitcoin ATM.
In my house.
What is that? I mean...
The Bitcoin ATM machine?
Sure, what is that? Explain that to me.
And so in 2014...
I know what ATM is, but...
Yeah.
Ask him out.
In 2014...
Standard first state stuff,
I was flipping homes, and the market became like kind of like saturated. And so I linked up with this guy, and he was like, oh, let's just buy this home and turn it into a nursing home, right? And I was like, okay. And he was like, we need this, this, and this. And so I put the money in the account, and he was like, I was like, hey, what's going on with this nursing home thing? Like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, wow. I put it in this thing called Bitcoin. And I was like, what is Bitcoin, dude? Like, my knowledge at that point about computers was like decorating my MySpace page. That's all I knew.
Your
like
top
some
6
HTML.
friends or...
Yeah.
I don't think I ever made it to the top 8, but whatever.
And so that's all I knew about computers. And so he started showing me, and I was like, where the fuck? He's like, no, we're going to start this Bitcoin ATM machine company, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I don't have any money. Like, you literally took all my money and put it in some coin. I don't even know. It's like, what is this coin? It's like $200. Like, what is this? And he's like, the only thing I knew about it, and I wasn't really doing it at the time, is when we would go on Silk Road to like, you could like buy pranks on people and like have their email put out there, and then they'd blast it like with junk mail. And my buddy was like, oh yeah, we got to buy this thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And at that time, I think it was even cheaper, but I didn't know anything about it. And so he introduces me to Bitcoin, takes me to these conferences, and that's when my mind opened. And I was like, holy shit, this stuff's going to take over the world, dude. Like, and then I started telling all my roommates about it. I was like, you got to buy Bitcoin. And they're like, dude, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? And it was like, I think at that time it was only like a couple $100 for Bitcoin.
It was when it first came out. Like,
well, when it first came out, it was like pennies.
Yeah.
But at that time, when I really learned about what it was and the value of it, besides Silk Road, because on Silk Road, it was just like you buy
Silk Road's like the dark web.
The dark web, yeah.
Okay.
And so on Silk Road, you would buy it, but it was like you don't really know. I didn't know what I was buying.
And how old were you?
26, 27, maybe.
Were you still working at the
Chateau?
Chateau?
Working at Chateau, yeah.
And that's when it was presented to you.
Yeah, because it was presented to me through somebody I had met at the Chateau, and we were going to go and build a nursing home.
Okay.
And so instead of flipping the house, we were going to build a nursing home, and then we are going to sell the business. And he was like this Russian dude, total schemer, but I trusted him because I trusted him because we had done business previously, right? I was like, oh, okay, I trust you. He's like, oh, my brother. And then
You не понимаю по-русски.
Bitcoin. He's like, what? He's like, look, it keeps going up. And I was like, dude, what is this?
Right.
And he was like, no, it's gonna go up. And I remember I completely ran out of money. I had to move back to my mom's house. And then I remember waking up one day and Bitcoin was just exploding. And I was like, this is like 2015 or 16? I don't remember when. And I looked at my Bitcoin account. And mind you, I had like a couple $100 in my bank account. My Bitcoin account, I was like, holy shit. How do I take this out now, dude?
Yeah. Cash me out.
Yes.
Where's the voucher?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
So hold on, with that ATM that you
I still have it. So because
what is that? Like you can just cash
you can
out?
buy Bitcoin. It's an ATM where you put cash in and it sends Bitcoin to your wallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So again, like the things that were, let's say, like undiscovered, like way back then. Like I remember talking to him about it. I remember going to his house, maybe like around that time, and you showing me Silk Road, and I was like, "Fuck is this?" You're like, "It's the dark web," and then I was like, "What is it for, though?" Again, like for when it just came out, or for people who didn't know. And he's like, "Well, you could do this on it," and like people use it for all these different things that you can use it for. And I was just like, this shit does not seem safe.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I have my IP routed somewhere else. And I was just like, what are you, a fucking hacker? And I was like, this is when that movie with Hugh Jackman had come out, Swordfish or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what are you, fucking Hugh Jackman? He's just, again, like been part or in the circle of certain things.
Well, yeah, it was because it was all Hollywood in LA. And where I hung out is those people that were in that circle. Like when I went to Burning Man in 2019, I was at Burning Man. In 2006, 2007, whenever that was. And it was nothing.
When you were 19, not in 2000.
When I was 19, yeah.
Was,
so that was like 2006, 2007 when I went there for the first time, and nobody knew what Burning Man was at that time. And it was completely, I just went this last year, completely different than it is now. 100% different.
I remember another time that I was in Hollywood, and then we hung out. We were going to go somewhere, but there was a bunch of us. And I was just like, we were going to like a taxi. And I was like, bitch, I don't want to walk. It was like a mile and a half or something like that. He's like, I'll have somebody picking us up. And I was like, all right. Fucking 3 Escalades pull up. And I was like, the fuck? Is Uber before how it is now? So before they even went like public, he just had like fucking 3 black XL like SUVs.
Dude, I said before anyone found out about Uber, me and my friend used to not tell anyone about it. And be like, oh, no, it's cool. I got it. I got a driver. Oh, and like a black car shows up. Mind you, I'm working at a bar. The black car just shows up. And they get out and they open the door. They're a lot nicer back then.
Yeah.
And so they'd get out and they'd open the door. I'm like, oh, yeah, come in, Mr. Rodriguez.
Dude, and it was fucking Jason Statham driving. like a guy.
Transporter.
It was a guy like suited up, you know, like fucking.
Yeah. I remember back in the day how that, yeah.
And do you remember when I ate shit at that bar? I slipped.
No.
We were at what's that rock and roll bar that
Oh, Rainbow Room?
No, not
the
Rainbow
Roxy?
Room. No, not the Roxy.
Oh, Loaded.
Yeah, we're at Loaded.
Loaded, dude. Loaded was
I'm fucking walking. I think I was with Alyssa at that time too. And then I fucking slipped, right? And I slipped and I fell and I popped right back up. And then he's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Why? What happened?" And then he told the girl, he's just like, "Hey, like my friend." So she got us like free drinks or whatever. But I remember getting again. You live like a block away. You used to live right below Sunset.
I lived all over the place over there. But I think you're talking about the Sunset apartment that I had. That was a couple blocks away.
Yeah, it was like a single-story house.
Yeah,
like right below. Yeah, so that's why I've always kind of like I've called him the Wanderer because I'll call him. He'll be in New York, or sometimes he'd hit me up, and I'm like, "Where you at?" And he's like, "Dubai, New York." Right.
So how was that trip in Dubai the first time you were there? After that, when you couldn't get your real estate license?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. So
that was before Bitcoin or after Bitcoin?
This is way before Bitcoin. So this is the crazy story. So I go to Dubai, right? And I'm trying to get my license, and they don't let me get my license. And so I'm like trying to figure out another way to try and like weasel my way in, like talk my way into like I'm a high school dropout, dude. I was like, who's gonna like? I thought I just get like my license, you know what I mean? And so,
I thought my mom fills out a paper.
I tell them who my mom is. My mom does real estate. But I ended up in the building that I was staying in. It was a guy who did real estate there, and everyone was buying real estate. He was killing it, making so much money. And I was like, hey, he had like a Range Rover, and I was like, hey, like, can I be your driver? Like, I'll drive you around, but I want to learn about real estate here. Like, I need to learn about real estate because I want to get a job, and they obviously don't have a college degree. They don't think I know anything about real estate here. He's like, okay, you can do it for free? And I was like, yeah. And so I drove him around and his clients, and he sat in the car, like in the back seat, and I was his driver. But then all I did was hear him talking about real estate with him and his client. I go back to the real estate office that didn't hire me, and I was like, hey, dude, I know everything about the real estate here now, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, bro, it's 2000, like, this is 2008. He's like, the market is crashing right now. And I was like, oh, Mom, I need to take it home.
He was like Tulsa, where Sylvester Stallone has a driver.
Yeah.
So that was how, like, I almost got a job in real estate in Dubai.
You think that, I mean, were you just, like, that's instilled in you from your mom? Like, your ability to just, like, connect with people, talk with people, and just say, fuck it, go for it? Or your pops, or...
I think it was because I didn't really have a choice, to be honest. Like,
well, a lot of people don't have choices, but they still don't do that.
My stepdad was a hustler. He was definitely a hustler. He was the one that taught me that it doesn't matter. It's all about who you know. He always told me that. He always connects with people, and he always told me, it's about who you know. Just go out and meet some people, and that's kind of where I guess I got that from.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are just. I saw a photographer yesterday, and just random conversation talking about his camera, giving him props on what he was doing. And
I like how you point. You can't see his pictures. What do you mean?
All I asked him because after he started showing me his pictures, right? So I'm like, dude, how far can you zoom in? We're pretty far.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, let me show you. And same thing when I saw Magic Johnson, and I was walking by and I saw some guy with a camera, but then later on it turns out he had credentials and he's a photographer for the Lakers. And so it's just my same thing, my ability just to connect with people, our ability to connect with people. And sometimes people, I don't think it's a superhuman power, but sometimes people are like, dude, how do you do that? And it's just like, it's fucking easy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I do connect with a lot of people. I don't know. I think it was late night Hollywood Hills parties too that you just end up connecting because no one stops talking.
Who was it? Because one of your friends used to live up there, huh?
Well, a few of them did. Who?
The guy who spent some time at.
Oh yeah, he lived up there. Yeah, he lived up there
in college. You know, he was in college.
He was off to college for a little bit.
A few of us go to college.
The one with all the bars.
Yeah. With the bar exam. What are you doing now?
Now I have a company called Embody Wellness Club. We sell peptides.
Okay.
Are you familiar with peptides?
That sounds very scientific.
No?
I am.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So peptides, you know Ozempic, semaglutide, Ozempic. Everyone's getting skinny with it. The shots. No?
I do.
You know about this,
yes.
right? That's what he's been taking this whole time. He didn't tell you.
Well, they're not fucking working, bro.
Exactly. I need more.
So
educate me.
Semaglutide and Ozempic are actually brand names. They are the main compound in that is GLP-1, and GLP-1 suppresses your appetite. It was usually made for people with diabetes. And now everyone's taking it to lose weight because it literally makes you not feel hungry whatsoever. And the FDA approved it. But the wild thing is, what nobody knows is they approved it. So only 2 people in the last 40 years have not gone to, from that left the FDA, have not not gone to work for Big Pharma. Right. Only 2 people. People leave the FDA and then they go to work for Big Pharma. And it's like, obviously there's something going on here, you know?
Insider trading? Billions.
And so Ozempic and semaglutide are actually brand names. The main compound in it is GLP-1. And so peptides are, there's so many, like we have the Wolverine peptide, which is a BPC 157. And it actually helps people, like my cousin had a shoulder injury, took it for 2 months, skipped out and getting surgery, went right back to work.
So it's like, it just gives them adamantium?
It just heals. It's a tissue repair. So what the BPC does is it makes a lot of blood flow go to the injury, and it helps it get repaired a lot faster.
So can I inject myself, or do you need a doctor to inject me?
So we have doctors. So when you go to our website, you put an order in, and then you have to talk to a physician, and then they send you out their peptides.
Huh? Dude, because my shoulders. So, maybe not side note, but along with this, right? I've been in fucking pain, bro. Like a lot of pain for years.
The shoulder?
Fibromyalgia.
Okay.
All right. So I finally got diagnosed with that. But recently it's like my ankle, my foot, my leg, my knee, my shoulders, my wrist, even my own body weight of me like doing a push-up, like my wrists are really, really bad. And so I'm like, I'm almost like giving up. I don't know what the fuck to do, because the doctors are like, hey, we're going to send you to therapy. They put the electroshocks. We're going to stretch you.
We'll get you on this. So what peptides do is they're just small chain amino acids. They're just amino acids. And so what it does is it signals to your cell. It's like, if you think of like a bead necklace. Mm-hmm. So when you put these...
as soon as you said beads, I'm like... I just immediately like
exactly.
Which one's yeah, I'm sorry.
I was like, those are some little ass beads. Yeah, you need to up your game up, my guy.
It was pretty immediate, and then it was
beads. Yeah. Which ones?
Exactly.
So if you think of those small, there's those amino acids, and what it does is it signals to your cell to do something different. Like they have some like dihexa is to fire off some neurons in your brain. You have BPC, which is tissue repair. You have AOD, anti-obesity drug, which is helping people lose a lot of weight. And everyone's swearing by it. Joe Rogan's talking about it all the time.
That's what I know.
Gary Brecka, Dr. Huberman, all raving about it. And so
about the type of
peptides.
Okay.
And so that's why when this came, an opportunity presented itself with this, that's when I was like, I think there's a market for this.
So, like, for maybe you to kind of like get it, it's kind of like
I understood it. He's like, let me get.
No.
So like 1 + 1.
Yeah. So
equals
again,
2.
Like the thing about it would be kind of like stem cells.
Okay.
For you to like kind of like associate it with, right? Yeah. So like what I've told you. There are different things that you can take to help your body regenerate certain cells.
As we get older, you're like, there's even ones for the telomeres to help lengthen the telomeres. As we get older, the telomeres get shorter, and that's what causes aging.
Telomeres are those
little tails on your cell,
like those little animals.
No,
lemurs. No.
So those are kind of like used to determine like your age.
Okay.
Right. Like either like you have different like physical age and different types of ways to determine again age. So I've always told you, like, you need to look into these alternative, I guess you can call these alternative medicines, right? Because they're not available through
doctors. I mean, insurance stopped covering it, I think, probably because it helps you get better. But
and then again, like Joe Rogan talks about it with athletes, right? So like with like stem cells or like with the BP57 or whatever it is, when someone suffers an injury, you can inject yourself or take certain things to help you recuperate, regenerate. And then there's ones for physical things like weight loss or muscles. And then there's also ones for like neurological stuff. So when my dad, after he had his heart attack, his memory wasn't fucking firing off. He was forgetting shit like all the goddamn time. So then I hit him up and I'm like, dude, like, do you have anything for this? And then he has like the list. He sent me like the website, and then it'll tell you like this is for these things. These are for
like
these
you have
things.
Dihexa. C-Max was approved in Russia for people with dementia. But if you inject some C-Max and you do 2 days later, you're going to be firing off some neurons in those brains.
You don't have it like in pill form? For those of us who are afraid of needles.
So it's crazy. So I just talked to my partner about this the other day. I was saying we need to. So I did the compounding pharmacy that we use out of Orange County. You can go on websites and you can get them for super cheap. but they're usually from China. You don't want those kind. You want to know where it came from. The compounding pharma needs to be in the U.S. But we are coming out with like BPC 157 topical cream, so you can just rub it and it takes away inflammation. And then there are some pills. It doesn't work as good as sub-Q, which is injecting it, but it still will get the job done. So
yeah, I think I'm really interested in that. I want to be like Wolverine.
That's literally what it's called, the Wolverine stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
why. You know?
Yeah, we'll get you some.
I told him because I went to TJ because my friend went to go have a consultation for stem cells.
For Tren?
Yeah.
To get some Tren?
Tren, anything's not possible. But I went into TJ. When's the last time you went to TJ?
Dude, I can't. I haven't been there in a while. But I have. I heard the Chinese are really taking over in a little area of that, right?
Dude,
I really want some Chinese food.
Hong Kong. I think there's a little Hong Kong. Great Chinese food.
I'm so hungry.
But dude, the last time that I was there, 10, 15 years? 15 I would say,
years ago.
Right? Like long time ago. And now it's completely different. Like it's not fucking like TJ. It's developed.
Really?
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of infrastructure and money that I think has gone in. And what's really popular is things like medicine. Right? Yeah. So medicine and a lot of like plastic surgery. And so there's this essentially like a big ass like medical building, and every doctor has like a known suite or like so you see a bunch of bitches with like BBLs, titties, and all kinds of deliciousness. But my friend went to go to get a consultation for stem cells, and because his ailments, right, like his foot, or my mom with her neck and all these different things, and I'm like, let me just go listen to what the doctor had to say. He was a doctor, I think he was from Ecuador or Paraguay. And I just recorded everything that he said, and he talks about how the stem cells work and how much they inject, and you shouldn't do stem cells after you've gotten a cortisone shot because there's not going to be any inflammation or anything for it to repair. So he was telling my friend, he's just like, you can, but it's not going to really make sense for you to do it right now. Yeah. And then there's intravenous where they do it through your vein. And then there's direct to where the area is. And he says, when you're doing it like his shoulder, he's like, if we're going to do it on your shoulder, we're going to do X amount. It's like, I don't know, 25 million cells, right? Yeah. And then he's just like, and that's going to help repair your shoulder. He's like, but when we do intravenous, it's going to go to wherever your body needs it. So you might get like 5 million here to like your shoulder, and then you might get it like to like somewhere else. And I came back and I told him, and I was just like, dude, I think you need to check it out. And then he's just like, fuck, man. He's just like, how much is it though? And I told him, it's probably going to be like 15 grand. And then he's just like, I don't think so. I was like, are you in pain? He's just like, yeah. Yeah. I was like, are you in $15,000 worth of pain?
Fuck no.
And then he's just like, well, why the fuck am I going to go to Mexico if I'm going to pay that much? And I'm like, you're not going to Mexico because you're getting it cheaper. You're getting it because it's not available here.
Yeah, it's not available here, which is wild. And so
how are you guys able to do it then?
Because it's not. Well,
peptides are not illegal. Okay. They're on a danger list. Okay. And what is happening, and it's wild because they put them on a danger list, and I have reason to believe it's because they really help. And I think that the healthcare system that we have today is more of the study of disease rather than keeping you sick and maybe on medication, rather than fixing you and sending you out the door. Because how do you make money off of somebody who's healthy? So they're on the danger list, but every single big pharma company is currently doing their own trials on peptides. So Ozempic and semaglutide that got approved is a peptide, but those are brand names. And so you can't patent a natural compound. You can't patent vitamin C, but you can patent how it's taken and the dosage. So what Ozempic and semaglutide did was make their own.
What do you mean how it's taken?
Like how you
consume it?
How you consume it, yeah. And so what they did was they made their own pens where you change it around, whatever. And all of a sudden, FDA approved semaglutide and Ozempic.
See, that's one of the things that's always pissed me off about the fucking doctor, where it's like, it's not maintenance, right? Where it's like, hey, I'm your doctor, and I'm going to help keep you better, and we're going to do like a diet plan, and you're hurting here, and we're going to work together to fucking give you longevity to take care of you. And if you go for one thing, like, hey, my foot hurts, only ask me about your fucking foot. Like everything else, some other fucking, and it's just like, dude, I get so irritated with going to the doctor for my stuff where they'll say, well, you got to go get the x-rays and then the results are going to come back in. Then you have to schedule an appointment with them. By the time I see the fucking doctor, it's months later and I'm just so over it.
You started living with your pain.
I'm just like, if you have something that
I'll definitely, I'll get you on I'll get you on the Wolverine stack, which is really good. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. A lot of athletes love it. We're going to be working on getting some topical stuff, but right now
it's injection based.
Sub-Q, but they're little insulin needles. Okay. It's not like a huge.
Bro, the other day they did the little test on my.
Did you pass out,
bro?
Just collapse.
Dude, I went and I got I want to be a clean boy, so I got tested, and the lady's like, "Hey, this test includes I don't know, some fucking either the gonorrhea or one of those tests,
the STD, the regular
and so she's like, we're gonna take blood, but I'm also gonna have to prick your finger, and I'm like, fuck. and then she pricked my finger, and I'm like, dude, is this what people with diabetes have to do all the time? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, every day they have to do this shit. She's like, yeah.
You're trying to talk yourself up every day to get yourself a shot.
Oh my fucking god, dude! And the ones that have to inject themselves in the stomach. I mean, that's where they always have to, right? That's what they should.
Some people, yeah.
What's a finger prick? What do they do?
It's to get the blood.
Yeah, that's just to do the blood work. The insulin goes in the stomach. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but so they took the blood, but one of the tests she said has to be a finger prick. I'm like, nah. She goes, well, it's included in what you paid for. I'm like, how much did I pay? She's like, $300. I'm like, do that shit. I'm gonna do that shit. I'm gonna give me my results. Yeah, seriously, man.
Are you afraid of needles?
Me, no.
Do you inject yourself?
Yeah, every day. Monday through Friday. I'm on like 5 different peptides now, but Monday through Friday, I'll take. I'm on testosterone and ipamorelin now, and that's helping me slim down. It's really helped in the gym a lot. And I take that at night before bed every night.
Which one makes your glutes bigger?
You would like to take some
PPL?
CJC ipamorelin. CJC will really help with
muscle growth.
Yeah, and testosterone. You got MGF is good, not to be confused with MGK. But we'll get you on a good stack. We'll get you on some stuff.
And what are each individual one has side effects? I'm sure, right?
No. So the worst one, I think the worst side effects come from the one that was FDA approved, which is a GLP. And like people will like OD on it because they go up in dose too fast, and when it suppresses your hunger, you get nauseous. You get you just feel sick. The other one, you feel phenomenal. Like you just feel really good. There's been no side effects.
And I was gonna ask, well, like again with my YouTube credentials and my Joe Rogan watching,
Diego thinks he knows everything.
This motherfucker listens to music all day. I just feed my brain. But aren't there side effects to Ozempic?
That is GLP. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
that's the one that has like the worst side effects. Like you feel when I took it, I felt like I had eaten all you can eat sushi from the second I woke up to the time I went to bed.
From 7-Eleven.
And so you just feel so full and like gross and like.
But that's supposed to suppress your appetite.
But that takes away your appetite. That's what everyone's assuming because you're literally just starving yourself.
And so then you guys have your own patented formula.
No, so we just sell the natural compound, which is GLP-1.
Okay.
So we just sell that. And so to brand it and to patent it, you would have to come up with all these other things. But we sell the natural stuff. So
like
I'm still semi-confused, but fuck it.
That's one of the things where those side effects that people ended up getting, because a lot of people started to lose weight on Ozempic, but because of, I don't know, whatever factor of the side effects that it causes, there's been adverse effects.
Yeah.
Is that your goal right now, like to lose weight, or what is it? What are you doing?
My goal now is just to help people really in the pain management spot. Like when I saw how many people it really helped, I was noticing that this is going to be a really big market. Because before this, I did COVID testing. So I had, so it went Bitcoin, COVID testing, and then it went, now it's at Peptides. But there's going to be, once people realize how good BPC is for pain management, it's going to explode. Just like semaglutide did a year ago or whenever it exploded, the same thing's going to happen with BPC 157. 100%.
And I think or at least for me, like when I hear about stuff like this, the fact that you guys have, I'm assuming it's a requirement to speak with the physician.
Yeah, you have to talk to the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an added value or a sense of certainty that you're like on the right path.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you can buy stuff, like I said, you can buy stuff online for cheap from these back alley websites, but it's from China. So
I have a friend who we both know who let us borrow this, who was telling me that he was buying stuff from Instagram. And I was like, dude, what?
Buying to inject himself?
Yeah. And I was just like, yo, what are you doing? And I was just like, I have a friend like who has a like legitimate business with, you know, like a physician. He's just like, well, I don't need all that. He's like, I just need a place to test the stuff that I'm getting. He's like, because I already got a bunch. And I'm like, no, man, like that, for me, it's just like health isn't something you want to fuck around with.
Yeah, no, not if you're
That's why
injecting
I've never see like steroids. I was just talking to Anthony. So Anthony, he's a bodybuilder, and he was talking about performance enhancing drugs, PEDs, right? And so he was talking about the first time he took PEDs. He wasn't sure of the side effects, but then when he came off of PEDs, like all the side effects that he had, right? Because all the estrogen that he built up.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, it was no one's fault other than mine. You know, it was like I took it from someone, like someone I knew, and I should have done my own fucking research. But he's like, if you ever take anything, it's like you want to be monitored, like your doctor, or like you're looking at like the levels in your blood. As
you want to get your lab work done.
All that stuff, so. Not just like this guy's fucking friends, because this guy has a lot of friends that just inject themselves with a whole bunch of shit. Yes, and I'm like, I'm like, why?
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
There's no rhyme or reason. 99% of them are idiots. Mm-hmm. There's that 1% that actually do it the right way.
And the thing is a lot of people want to do it the cheap way because they don't want to pay the premium price. But when you pay with the premium price, you're getting, we monitor you. Like we're more expensive than a lot of these other websites, but you're paying for the doctor. You're paying to know you have a quality product. Like you don't want to go on the internet and just buy random stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So one of the things that he told me, and again, there is a stigma. There's a negative connotation that people have with certain things because they don't understand it, right? So like even the documentary Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and when they go into detail on like just about steroids, right? But there's things where your testosterone levels naturally, again, what I've told you, they start to diminish after the age of 30, like in, you know, like let's say like your typical male. Mm-hmm. So I talked to you, when was it, like last week or something like that?
Yeah.
And then I say what I always say. My birthday's coming up and I'm trying to get the fucking lap band, but nobody wants to buy it for me. So I was like joking with him and I'm like, hey, like, you know, like what should I take? Or, you know, like anything like that. He's just like, well, first he's like, you need to get he's like, have you had your testosterone levels tested?
Yeah.
Because that is
that's huge.
First thing that you got to do.
Yeah. Cause you want to have you had when's the last time you had your lab work done? Blood work?
Probably within the last 6 months.
So
I actually have it in my car.
Really? Yeah. Sure. So you want to see, I tell you what, a city with men all on testosterone that are at normal levels can take over an entire country. like 4 or 5 guys, dude.
Yeah, sign up on the link. We want to take over.
Like you could take over a fucking country if you all of our testosterone. When I got mine checked, I was super low, and then as soon as I started taking TRT and like getting my body back in shape, I feel so much better.
And that gives you all the capabilities to function at a higher level. If you have low T, it's just like the commercials, it's like you're sluggish, you're tired, it's harder for you to lose weight because of all the things that testosterone helps with. So like the first step is to get your testosterone tested, I would assume. Yeah. And then you see, first of all, if you even need it or if you have testosterone levels. But it's like maybe you don't need that. Maybe you can take other things to, again, supplement, which is add to your overall health.
Yeah, there's a dude down the street. Oh, actually down that way, off of 6th. They do like pain management, but one of the things that he does is testosterone injections.
It's so good.
And so what he was saying, he's a doctor, right? So
guy has crazy hair.
Dude looks like fucking Einstein, the Asian Einstein. But he was telling me, he's like, I inject myself.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just feel so much better. And he's like, I did have a side effect. He goes, I cycled off and I wasn't managing myself right. Again, like the whole estrogen thing, because you're not producing as much, right? It can block off. So he was telling the side effects. He goes, but I wasn't treating myself like I would have treated a patient. So it threw me off out of whack. But when you're doing it that way, I believe like with the doctor or you guys, let's say you're managing it and you're actually testing before you actually give someone some shit.
Yeah.
And again, going back to what Anthony was talking about on the podcast, I don't have no disagreement with steroids, especially in sports. Like in sports, I'm like, you're a fucking athlete, you're a millionaire, like juice them to the gills. Go for it.
Imagine a sport where you just let everybody juice and then they just go at it.
They're having in Olympics like that where you can like juice.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see how far you can push this.
Yeah, it's like, that's your personal choice as a grown-ass adult, and you know, but that's just on the sports world. Now, in regular world, we lack stuff, right? Like vitamin C, vitamin D.
Yeah.
If you need some of that, you know, maybe slide in to those DMs. But there's things that your body lacks, or I don't know, chemical imbalances and shit. There's nothing wrong or like a stigma, like, oh, I got to take some shit. It's like, yeah, you got to take some shit because it'll make you better.
Yeah, I mean, I tell everybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm on this, I'm on that, because it makes me feel so much better throughout the day. Especially once you pass that 30 mark, and you know, when your hangovers start lasting like 2 days, and then slowly you're like, you know what? I'm not going to go out tonight with the guys because I have shit to do in 3 days. So, like, I'm not going out tonight. But when you get to our age, all you want to do is feel good. Like, you just want to feel better. That's it. And that's what peptides have done for a lot of people, and even testosterone, but just getting your labs checked, seeing where your levels are at, it makes a huge difference.
So your body's a vehicle. It's the only fucking vehicle you're going to get in your life. So you want to make sure that it's functioning and going to be able to run as smoothly as it can for as long as possible. And then if your fucking tires are going bald and you need to fucking get new tires, that's what it is.
You still need to like go in the gym, and I think like you can't just jab yourself and then expect things to happen. Like, you still need to actually like lift weights and go in there and put a little bit of effort in.
It's part of your overall health.
Yeah.
Right? The supplements, because again, vitamins are supplements. You're supplementing.
Do you guys have a storefront?
No, we're all web-based. Yeah. So we're based out of Miami. We have a few pharmacies that we work with. One of the biggest ones is in Orange County. But it's third-party tested, everything. Everything's great. Like I said, I've been on them for 6 months now. So
you look good.
Thanks, man. You hit me up?
Yeah.
He's just like, I can see why we're wiener cousins.
Oh, man.
Dude, it's, again, I was 19 when I was working at the airport. And I'm 27 now.
They've been into it for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Quite some time, dude.
Yeah. Fucking 15 years, 17 years.
Jeez. To think back then, like, the reason I was traveling so much is because I didn't care to sleep on someone's couch. When I was living, this is a funny story. When I was living, so I ended up, one of my best friends, he's from Italy, and he's a really good guitar player. He was traveling in this band, and I had gone to school briefly for
where'd you go to school?
For sound engineering at LA Recording School. LA Recording
Film?
It's the recording version of the film. Yeah, in
I think it's LA Film School.
Yeah, but it's the same school, but like the recording section of it. And he was like, "Hey, come out can you do the engineering for our band? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but all right, cool. Let's check. I'll do this. So like, come out here to Dallas. We're staying here in Dallas. He didn't tell me where they were staying. I fly out there. They're staying in a motel, dude. So I'm like,
Motel 6.
all right. It was like a bedroom. It was like probably like the top tier suite of the motel because they had 2 bedrooms, but it was still not a good place to live.
The super duper 8 motel.
And so where it was, I think it was off Northwest. Is it Northwest Highway in Dallas? Where it's all strip clubs down there, right? Mind you, I moved out there thinking we're going to start doing shows. We're going to start making money. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's go out here. I'll go and start traveling on the road a little bit. We don't go on any shows. We're living and I don't have any money. And we know the manager at Spearmint Rhino in Dallas, right? And so I'm like, hey, he's like, oh yeah, we have a really good buffet, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. So me and my friend go there, and that's literally how we're surviving. We're going to the strip club. He lets us in for free, and we just go to the buffet. Then we're just like eating. The strippers come up like, hey, you want to dance? And we're like, you see us here every day. And not one time have we bought a dance. We clearly don't have any money, and we're just trying to stay alive. That's all.
How old are you guys?
20. I was 22.
That's how we started making money. Amateur night.
So then across the street from there, the drummer from Pantera on a place called Clubhouse. Clubhouse had open bar from like, I don't forget the times. It was maybe like 2 to 4 or something like that. But they also had BYOB. So we would go, we'd walk to Spearmint Rhino, get our nutrition for the day, and then go to Clubhouse and then drink the open bar. They hated us there because we never tipped. We didn't have any money. So we're just like, oh, you go next. I was like, because he's from Italy. I was like, you're the European. You go up there and ask because they'll know you're not going to tip.
For you.
No, they already know you're not tipping because you're from Europe.
He goes up. He's like, boppa boopity.
And so we would go there, dude. And we did that for like a good, 4 months. I think we did that just to stay alive.
He becomes the Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards. He's like, Gorlami.
So now you're out here. Now you're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
No,
You're
I'm not
still
here
traveling the world? Or?
No, I'm not here. I'm back and forth between here and Miami now.
Okay.
Yeah, I love. Have you been to Miami lately?
Nah, dude. Last time I was in Miami was probably about 15 years ago.
It's a lot different now.
Yeah?
To definitely go.
A lot more Cubans?
You feel like I'm really caught in between because here everyone calls me Mexican.
Uh-huh.
There everyone calls me gringo.
Papi?
And Papi. But everyone calls me gringo there. So I don't fit in anywhere, dude. I'm just like, here I'm Mexican, I don't speak Spanish. There I'm gringo, and I'm like,
what's your nationality?
Spanish, Native American, which is basically Mexican now. My grandpa is from the Ute tribe in Utah.
The Ute?
Ute tribe? Yeah.
Okay.
Ute tribe in Utah.
Dude, you sound like a white girl. I'm Native American and I'm Spanish. And,
I'm a little bit of everything, man. But yeah, Miami's great. You should check it out.
Miami, I want to go to Key West, is what I told you.
The Roadhouse, and that you wanted to.
I'm gonna go look for my Jake Gyllenhaal.
Exactly.
No, dude, I'm not. I don't like being around a lot of people, and that's what Miami is. Like, you walk down what is that street that's right in front of the fucking ocean?
We have like South Beach.
South Beach.
Okay, that's. When I'm in Miami, I'm in like. I was staying with this girl I was dating in Kendall, but then my business partner has a place in Brickell.
Okay,
it's awesome, dude. It's not like Miami Beach is completely different.
Yeah, like things of that where it's like by the beach, it's quiet, white sands, things of that nature. I did like about Miami, but South Beach, like when people say Miami, oh, they want to fucking go to South. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm over that shit.
Yeah,
I'm so no thanks.
To me, it's like Vegas. I'm not trying to go to clubs. I'm not trying to go to bars.
That's true. Maybe that's a better. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
What do you do when you go to Vegas?
Well, I don't, first of all. But people would ask me, "Oh, you want to go to Vegas? You want to go to Vegas?" And I'm like, "No. Like, if I do, treat me like a 7 diamond hooker. Take me to a fucking fancy dinner. Take me to a show. Like, that's more.
Take me to Wayne Newton.
It's like that's more like it's a party city, but there's still cool aspects of it or different places that you can go.
Yeah.
In the food in Miami or different things that you can see. It's just like, it kind of really depends on like what you're out there to do.
Well, I think we're gonna go to Miami. We're gonna go visit our friend in Miami.
You guys gotta come out there.
We'll take everything here and
It's a great
We
time.
got to do a podcast in thongs.
What?
After we take our peptides, though.
Exactly. This is like in 6 months. In 6 months.
6 months, bro. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Trial starts.
You can probably find a lot of those. Do you know? They might just think we're Latin.
Yeah.
If we're in those little underwear. Like, leave them alone. They're from Spain.
You got to make sure you tan first so you can tell that we've been wearing them for a while. Because if not, they're going to know. They're going to be onto us.
No, I like the little lines where it looks like you're wearing one, but you're not wearing one.
Tan lines?
Exactly.
That's always been your thing.
Yes. It's like you're like,
dude,
oh, you got nothing on.
I remember being in middle school and coming home. This motherfucker's pretty much naked, fucking playing PlayStation standing up. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He was using a self-tanner.
Yeah, man. I want to be tanned up.
Hey, did you do the thing to him as a little brother where like you let him think that he's playing, but you unplug the remote?
No.
And then you start playing? And you're like, I said to my little brother. Because you're like, oh, I want to play. And I'm like, all right, fine. Here's the remote. But I'd like unplug his. And I'd be like,
how many brothers do you have?
I have 6 siblings.
Oh, shit.
So I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. Imagine that, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
The age difference wasn't great enough for me to not be wise to those antics.
Yeah, he's not that young.
Yeah. But he dude, just fucking, and this is when he had frosted tips. So he just,
that was the jam. I wonder if that's going to come back because like the 90s is coming back.
Dude.
I don't know if it's age appropriate, but I could try.
Well,
I'm down.
I know you are. That's
just like the Liberty spikes,
dude. I wanna bleach my fucking mustache, like bleach blonde.
And then when it grows out, so then you have like just the tips.
Yeah, exactly.
he's gonna do.
That's the thing, though. Like, I'm gonna burn my fucking face, so I really gotta get a girl to do it. Someone who knows how to do it can do it. Because I'm not gonna do it myself. Like, I'm not gonna
get it in your mouth and like
I'll burn my face and
Did you ever do any of that stuff? Bleach your hair or anything like that?
No, I used to put Sun-In in my hair. Remember Sun-In?
Lewis?
That's what I was gonna say. So like this will.
Do you know Lewis?
No.
No.
There was the one that we used to use was called a lightning gel.
And right? Sun-In.
And Sun-In.
Did you ever just put lemon in your hair?
Yeah.
As like 7th grader, yeah, probably. But that's not really me. That's more him and my other brother. Well, my brother's never dyed his hair blonde, but he had the bleach tips. Like, he's always leaned into like that kind of stuff. I love
this. I mean, look how I'm dressed. Look how he's dressed. There's a difference between my accessories, like, versus a little bit more toned down, normal. Mm-hmm. I like loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love loud.
Yeah, dude. He bedazzles fucking everything.
my thongs are bedazzled.
Show him your pinky toe ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he likes accessories.
Yeah,
I don't. Like I can wear a watch, but not really. Like, even a watch is uncomfortable.
A watch
is uncomfortable.
Is uncomfortable for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, you really toned down.
Dude, even like glasses, as redundant as it sounds, I feel like I have something in my face. So it's like, it's uncomfortable.
I can't wear glasses because I lose every single pair that I get.
It's gas station, dude.
Every single pair that I get, baby.
I can't wear expensive glasses. I lose them too much.
Yeah.
But like, how many bracelets do you have on today?
Probably
5. With the Johnny Depp, huh?
That's what I'm saying, 5. Dude. He's the fucking Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it's the Johnny Depp of lending.
Man, that's just not really been me. Like, it's just...
I mean, I like this denim on denim, though.
Do you like this?
Yeah.
This is my Canadian look,
pretty cute.
I've been wanting to go to Canada, so I'm trying to manifest it. He
has that Jay Leno going on. Denim on denim.
To go to Canada.
Canadian. Oh man, I think Canada has one of the strictest immigration policies.
That's what I hear. But then I talked to somebody from Canada, and she told me that it's not that hard. So I think we've been just lied to this whole time. I might just run across. I don't know. See what they do.
See what they do.
I'll just run.
Do you remember that show, Mountie? that fucking show where the guys, what are they called? The Mounties? Whatever, with the red? You remember that show?
A show?
Yeah,
Mounties?
Full Mount. There was a guy, I remember there was like, it was kind of like a cop show. Like, this is back when like New York Undercover was.
Okay.
But there was a guy and it was about like a Canadian Mountie. You know what I'm talking
I remember it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the like the maple syrup gangsters? How like they stole like gallons and gallons and gallons of maple syrup, and it was like a huge thing in Canada.
No.
You didn't hear about this?
No,
Dude,
a Canadian heist.
Jeremy, pull it up.
Yeah, exactly. I have not gone grocery shopping in months. I went about a week ago. One of the things that I bought was fucking maple syrup.
Aunt Jemima?
I didn't see no Aunt Jemima, but I bought the one that said maple syrup. I fucking love maple syrup, dude.
You put it on salmon?
What?
It's really good on
He doesn't
salmon.
like fish.
You don't like fish?
Not really.
On salmon.
On salmon, it's
Interesting.
really
I'm gonna
good.
try that.
I saw.
Even though I don't really like
Do you know how to cook?
Know how to cook meat.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's all I really know how to cook.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's it. My daughter gets sick of it because she's like, "Are we gonna have anything on the side of me?"
Like,
He's on the Jordan Peterson diet.
Exactly.
Like, no, I'm not even on the plate. I'm just eating it off the cutting board.
Dude, tell him about your Vegas story.
Who?
You.
My Vegas story?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
I don't know. You were hanging out some fucking, what was it, a restaurant in Chino? You're just hanging out some spot in Chino when two girls walk in and they were asking you if you could acquire some party festivities, and then you ended up married.
Oh, that wasn't in Chino.
You were.
That was he's like, that was in Vegas. That was in Chino.
That was in
No.
Chino. That was in Hollywood.
You were in Hollywood. I thought you
That
were in
was
Chino.
Hollywood. No, that was at the bar. And yeah, it was these Australian girls. I was like 20 years old, and they walked in the bar and they're visiting. They're like backpacking, right? And they're like, "Oh, let's go to Vegas." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." So the next day we take off to Vegas, and yeah, one of the girls was like, "We should get married," and I'm like, "All right, cool." So we go down to get everything done, and she took the paperwork. I don't think she ever submitted the paperwork though. I could be married right now. I don't know. She's Australian. She could be a citizen here now. And I didn't even know it.
They were like doctors. They were like
Dude, yeah, I could have been coming up right now. I should look into that.
You should.
She was going to school to be a doctor. Or
Oh,
she
that-
was already a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like 27 and I was 20.
And she had like just finished like medical school, and they
Yeah.
were just like, you know,
She was rocking the cradle.
dude.
Dude.
They were
Older women?
vacationing on like through the States, and they're like, oh, let's go to Vegas, run into this fucking ding dong.
Yeah. Me of all people was cleaning your table. I'm like, what? You want to get down for
Vegas? I'm down. You guys drove?
Yeah, we drove to Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas is so
I'm
close.
telling you, those times when you had no responsibilities, like, were so much fun, man.
But then at the same time, well, I'm not sure about you, but when you have no responsibilities and you're a little bit younger, you make some mistakes that can be fixed, but some people make mistakes that can't be fixed.
Yeah, very true. But at the time, like, I didn't have a care in the world. I was just living my life. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was just looking for opportunities and willing to take them. But when an opportunity just to go to Vegas and some hot Australian girls came up, I was like, sure, why not?
That's one of the things that I was telling him when we were driving back from Utah on the way to Utah. It's just like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I went to Idaho. Some girl that I was hanging out with, and then she was doing nursing school out there, and then she got into a nursing program out here, and then she's like, hey, like, you down to like fly out to Idaho, meet me there, and then just kind of like drive back?
Where'd you meet this girl?
Bumble.
Ah, sounds safe.
Well, she's
Sounds really safe, man.
she's actually
safe.
This is how
like-
Netflix documentaries start. Just by the way, did she ask you for money?
It's also how porno
Was she like, hey, they're after me.
Hey, pull over,
dude. But to me, well, she's like, she's older than I am. She's older than you. She's, like early
she's
40s.
super young.
It's older than you. She's like 34.
No, she's in her like early 40s. Right? We had hung out a couple times, like out here.
Experience is what I call them.
Correct.
Experienced.
And we had hung out like a couple times like out here, and then but again she has family that lives out here, so she's from here but was visiting, and at that time was living in Idaho, was going to nursing school out there. And then she's like, hey, like I gotta move back, like would you be down just to like meet me over there? I want to go see Atmosphere and Cypress Hill. Went to a concert, like I just flew into like Idaho, went to a concert, like hung out, and then we just
What's in Idaho? Like what is there?
Potatoes.
Yeah.
That's it, huh?
Dude, I want to go to every state. I want to go to every state. That's something that I would definitely put on. That I would have. I don't have a bucket list, but if I had a fucking bucket list, every state would be on a bucket list. Just to. So many people travel from across the world to this country to see places, right? But we can. I mean, the United States is fucking huge, bro.
There's so many different. The geography changes so all over the place.
Dude, like.
Hold on. What's your favorite place that you've traveled to? Have you traveled a lot?
I think I like tropical places. Okay. I think Bali was pretty incredible. Bali was great.
Bali is
Indonesia.
Colombia? Oh.
Colombia was fun too.
Is there a Bali, Colombia?
Colombia. No, that's Cali.
Cali, Colombia.
Kind of the same. Like
almost.
If I had a girlfriend and I was like, oh, I'm going to Bali. I meant Cali.
Exactly. Cali, like California.
Cali. I don't know why I said Bali. I spell check.
Hey, man, I'm fucking smart, but I'm not that smart.
Bali is in Colombia?
Well, yeah, it sounds like Colombia. Anyway, so you went to Bali. How long were you there for?
2 weeks. Yeah, Bali was fun, man. That was a good time. Everything.
Were you broke there too?
No, I wasn't broke there, and that's why it was so fun. But I could have been broke there and still lived like a king.
Okay.
Because it was so cheap everywhere. But yeah, Bali was a really good time. I really want to go to the Philippines. Have you been to the Philippines?
No, but I heard they got cute lady boys.
That's Thailand.
Hey,
that's Thailand.
Gay,
you don't have them in the Philippines.
Gay is in now, man.
Yeah,
Gay is in.
Hell yeah, it's in. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm trying to get it in, but. Shit, not that we might have to, but maybe because my cousin just got married through like the court, but her husband's Filipino, so I'm not sure if I heard this correctly or not, but I think they're gonna do 2 weddings, like one over here and then like one over there.
Yeah, my buddy just had a wedding there, and he was like, "Dude, for what it cost for an 8-hour wedding,
was it like 6 lumpias?"
He was like, "I had like a week-long wedding here for the same price as a wedding here for one day. He had a week-long wedding there."
Damn.
Yeah.
I know that there's that island like Baccarat, but no, wait, that's that
Baccarat. That's
game.
a poker
game. Boracay or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So there's like an island. One of the islands in like the Philippines that's supposed to be like really, really nice.
Really?
Yeah, like
the one with all the monkeys.
No, it's
Is it another place?
India.
The monkeys in Bali are fucking terrifying, dude.
Oh, really?
They are so scary. It's like. So they have the monkey forest, right, in Bali, and like going before you go, you're like, oh my god, I want to go see all the monkeys, right? The second me and my friend walk in the monkey forest, I remember it was my friend Parker, and he has a backpack on because he has all this camera gear, right? The second we walk in, we see this old man like swinging a backpack trying to fight a monkey, and the monkey was like trying to grab his baby, and I was his baby, and I was like, I looked over and I was like. All right, and it says like before you walk in, they have like all these signs like don't look the monkeys in the eyes, don't feed the monkeys, don't do this, don't do that. Like
don't have sex with them.
I'm like, all right, dude. Like I started getting a little bit nervous, right? And so we walk in, and I remember me and Parker are like walking through. One of the monkeys jumps on his back and is like trying to open his backpack. He's like, "What do I do?" And I was like, I don't know, dude. They're gonna jump us if I hurt that monkey, they'll all jump us. Like
fucking Diddy Kong.
So he finally jumps off, and we're walking through they have a little pathway, and the like pathway is blocked off by like a gang of monkeys. It's like West Side Story, dude. Like boom, boom, you know, like
they're all dancing.
Yeah, so they're blocked off, and I was like, oh, and they're like hissing. I was like, oh, dude, let's go back the other way.
They're little monkeys.
Little monkeys, like the little monkeys from Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow.
And so I turn around.
That's scary, dude.
We turn around to go back, and there's another gang of monkeys, like fucking bandanas on their heads and shit. And so I was like, dude, what do we do? And so we were like, okay, let's just go off the path and like run around them. So we run off the path, and you hear them like going wild, like doing something, and we're just like running off. And so we finally get out of the monkey forest, and we're like, okay, thank God, dude, like we survived. Like that was the most.
Is this like a tourist attraction?
This is like a tourist attraction. I was like,
There's no park rangers
In
no,
Bali?
no. And so we go to this restaurant right outside of the monkey forest, right? And we're sitting we're on the second floor, and we're sitting on the balcony. And they're monkeys. You can't keep them in cages like there, like it's a monkey forest. So they just climb the electrical lines and walk over to the restaurant. And so we're on the second floor, and the lady is bringing our drinks, and she's beating off the monkeys, like scaring them with this big stick. Puts the drink down, and she's like trying to fight them off. And then we're sitting there, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting uncomfortable again. Like dude. The monkeys are coming around, and then when the food comes out, they run up and they grab the food and they take off running.
That's what they do. They'll like take your stuff from your backpack or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they'll give it back once you give them food. Yeah, they're smart. They've wised up to that's how you get food from like tourists and stuff like that. And then you have the scene from Planet of the Apes where Caesar talks to James Franco and he goes, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there you go.
Let's give him a little knuckle sandwich.
Exactly.
No, but it's pretty fucking terrifying.
Monkeys are scary, dude. I mean, I just saw King Kong and Godzilla.
That is not a monkey.
You know, that's
a gorilla. That is
10 times stronger than a man, supposedly. 10 times stronger than a man.
Is that man on PCP 157?
Imagine.
PCP. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Gorilla, a chimp. I think a chimp's like 2 to 3 times stronger than a man, but I think they'll literally rip your face off. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan's talked about.
Yeah, they will. They're pretty aggressive. It's so scary.
I don't get people's affinity with certain animals, dude. I'm like, it's a fucking animal.
Well, you want to fucking punch a cow?
I do.
You want to punch a cow?
There's so many animals that I want to punch. I don't want to hurt them.
I just want to know what it feels like.
Correct.
To punch a cow.
Yeah. Not just a cow.
Why a cow, though? Like, what do you have against cows? They feed you?
Nothing at all. I don't have anything against any of these animals. I want to punch a shark.
I mean, you think you're supposed to, right?
Punch,
supposed to punch
flip it over, and then it goes. Yeah, if you flip it over, it'll go comatose or comatose.
Mm-hmm.
For real though.
What if you're in like? So I went. I was in Belize, and I went like swimming with the sharks.
Ooh, but
all they really are like giant suckerfish. They're not even really sharks. They don't have teeth. They just
Is that why you went in without your trousers?
I went in there.
Suckerfish.
You
guys said suckerfish, right?
They're what? They're not sharks? So yeah. So they could never let me go in that place again. But
he's like, so I'm banned from Belize.
So yeah, they won't let me go back on that tour again. But the sharks remembered me for the rest of their life.
Nah, man, I just want to know what it feels like. I don't think it would hurt them. You think if I fucking punch a giraffe in the stomach, it'd really hurt it?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying.
But don't you think they'd have like an instinct? Like if a fly lands on your leg, like don't you have an instinct to like?
Yeah. So.
Right.
Just give me an opening, and I just want to like fucking mollywop one. I was at one of our cousins works at the Natural Museum of Science in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And one of the times that I was out there, she sends me a picture because she used to do like security, so she's like in like the camera room or whatever. And then she sends me a picture. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it looks like I'm doing like a Hadouken because they had like taxidermy, like a giraffe.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit is so high. Like to punch a giraffe in the fucking stomach, you'd have to fucking jump. You'd have to fucking. Yeah.
I got about 3-inch lift.
You use lifts?
No, I'm saying like I can get like a 3-inch like.
Dude, that's gotta be one of the fucking. Well, I mean, I wear boots, but if you wear shoes that are normal shoes,
yeah,
and you have lifts in them,
we all know.
Like
we all know. We could see that your calves are bulging out right now because you're wearing heels.
But what I'm saying though, it's like, granted, kudos to you, man, for wearing what you want.
Yeah.
But you also understand that when you get in bed with the girl or you take off your shoes, like
stuffing your bra, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
like
man.
Or like girls who wear little girdles.
And then
you know what I'm talking about? And then you fucking take it off and it's like
that must be a Bumble thing.
You've never had that on Grindr.
Never had that on Grindr. Yeah.
Well, it's a misconception of.
I just
what
see
your
the
body looks
ads
like.
pop up on my shit, and I'm like, dude, why? Like,
why?
come on, what up, short
Do
king?
they know you how tall you are? Why are you
Yeah,
getting
come
ads,
on,
dude?
man.
I think. Well, it's like what we're talking about earlier about having. You said the gift of gab, but it's kind of like having the confidence to talk to people.
It's like, hey, wear the highest heels you can because I'm ready to climb that.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm down with it. What's up?
I
Let's
like
go.
tall chicks, though.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of tall chicks. It's
like 6 foot and higher. Or
No,
5'5"?
I've dated a chick that was like over 6 foot.
Oh,
That was.
She used to give you pigback
that was
rides or
like-
what?
You know what I mean? Working like, yeah.
I went to one. School,
I became a monkey.
I went to one school dance, and it was Altalomas, and the girl who I went with, she was 6'1". Her brother.
She wore heels.
She wore heels.
Yeah.
Like little ones, but heels nonetheless. Her brother 6'8", and her other brother 7'1". Her brother was on the practice squad for the Lakers.
Well, the last girl I was dating, beautiful girl, she was 5'11", and she put heels on. At Burning Man, she put on like these, and I was like, it's like walking my pet. I was like, come on,
She was walking you.
No, see, but that's the thing though, dude. Girls always lie about their age. Most girls, they lie down, and then most girls lie down about their height. And I'm like, you're not 5'5". You're 5'9". You're my height. Like, I'm not 5'5". Like, why don't you just say you're 5'9"? They'll try to
bring it down.
Men lie up and women lie down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Let's
like,
just
I'm
be
5'10".
honest.
No, you're not. You're 5'9".
Yeah.
And then women, it's like, I'm 5'9". It's like, you're 6'3".
No, for real. Like, there's no problem with your height. Like, don't be ashamed.
6'3".
Seriously. Like, you're LeBron James height.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's like that confidence thing, though, like you said. So some people ask, it's like, oh, how do you just talk to people? Like, how are you just yourself? Essentially, is what a lot of people have, I think, questions about. Like, I forgot who we were telling when we were at in Arizona.
We were telling Caris.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, hey, cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, Caris. Love you. She was saying, like, how are you so confident, like, with your dance videos?
Dance videos? You do dance videos?
Yeah, bro, I twerk.
Like on the pole?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude,
and wrap my butt cheeks around it.
That's why you have the thong. It's all coming together now.
So I just so the whole thing about like my dancing was during the pandemic. I
needed money, so
no. I went on TikTok, went on this fucking app, and there's all these kids dancing, doing hand dances, right?
Yeah.
Like this new shit, this new trend. I'm like, man, screw these fucking kids. Let me show them what's up. Let me show them what real dancing is. And so I just started uploading dance videos, and they went viral, right? So
what kind of dancing though? Like wall twerking? We're talking about like.
Well, I mean, I first started with knee pads, and then eventually I was able to remove the knee pads.
Got it.
But it was just dancing videos of any kinds of music. So like freestyle. Then you have like salsa merengue. Then you have house or hip. Actually, no hip hop really, because that's just not my fucking thing. I'm not gonna be a Jabberwocky or whatever the fuck those guys are called. Jabberwocky. But just put the music and whatever comes out, comes out. As far as dancing.
I wish I could say that, dude. I got 2 left feet.
Put it on.
Yeah, and put it. So this is what I tell people. It's like, dude, look, music, you feel it, and whatever you feel comes out. That's what music is.
You know, then one time they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm just dancing." Are you sick? You having a seizure?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so that's what I was telling her. It's like, dude, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody says about me. I don't care. I'm confident. I know who I am.
Yeah.
Whether it's positive comments, hey, they're welcome. Negative comments, I can give a fuck.
Yeah.
You don't know me. And so it's the ability to talk to people, the ability to connect with people. I know what's in my heart. I know what kind of person I am. I know I'm just fucking around, doing some dance videos and stuff. It's unfortunate that out there in the world, there's a lot of people that like that.
Well, the thing is, like, I was teaching my daughter this the other day.
How's your daughter?
She's 7. I have a framed picture on my wall from Theodore Roosevelt about the man in the arena. and talks about like not judging the person that is in there trying to do something. And so I was teaching her that, and so like we were going over it, and I was like, you don't ever want to judge somebody. You don't want to make fun of a player on the field because you're on the benches. You don't make fun of somebody for out there trying because you're sitting here watching them. You're not even trying. You don't even know what it's like to be out there and get shit done. So I think it's great that people just go out and just do it, because next thing you know, you're really good at it, and then everyone wants to be you.
It's one of the things. He's always been, let's say, a person who likes attention. I think we all do to an extent, right?
I love attention.
Right. But again, he's posted videos of like him like 15 years ago, which is, this is him all the time.
MySpace?
Oh, all day long,
hey,
bro.
When did that MySpace post come from? Remember this one?
The angles?
Up here? The up angle?
I don't know, man. But you know who does that? And you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I know what you look like. It's big guys and big girls. If all you see is face,
yeah,
then
you're trying to hide your body.
Be proud of who you are. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Like we all know, But anyway,
kind of like
this,
like what Ocean's joke said.
So now what they do is you put the timer on 10 seconds. You just fucking throw it up and
like Ocean has that joke.
Ocean does have that joke. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shout out Ocean. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ocean Glapion, give him a follow.
Mm-hmm. But it's I'm not camera shy, right? I am not shy to speak in public, right? Like a lot of people, that's their biggest fear is to speak in public.
Yeah.
Do you do public speaking?
No, not at all. But there's a comedian. I gotta remember his name. Everyone's got to see him. But he has autism, but he only shakes when he's on stage. Let me find his name, dude. I gotta tell you guys, because he's like, you think this is what I go through every day? Because people are like, how do you have tattoos? And he was like, because this is a thing that happens when I'm on stage.
Yeah, dude. So continue.
So there's the I don't think there's ever really been an issue for us, or at least me and him. I don't know about Miguel.
Public speaking?
Yeah, public speaking.
Oh fuck yeah! Dude. I've been public speaking for. I don't know.
I'm not a big public speaker.
2-3 decades, right? So at least 2 decades for my career, and my mom would have us do it earlier. To this fucking day, I get nervous public speaking.
Yeah,
I'm always fucking nervous. I don't care what it is, but Denzel, one time he called me and he told me that he still gets nervous when he does movies, right?
So, Washington.
Yeah, exactly. So he said he said he was about to do his directorial debut for Antoine Fisher. I think it's Antoine Fisher, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I was in the trailer, just fucking nervous. I didn't want to come out, and mind you, there's a whole set of crew, people, cameras, and I didn't want to come out of my trailer because I was nervous. And I'm like, dude, if he gets nervous, I'm allowed to fucking get nervous.
Yeah. Just flap that coat, man.
But one of the things about it was, I don't think, for me, like I'm not camera shy, right? We can do this, or we could do other things where a lot of people do get camera shy.
Yeah.
It's just not me. That's his personality, right? Yeah. But at the same time, with what he started to do and how I think at one point your TikTok followers were like 140,000, right? I think that's what it reached. But then that got us on the news because of the charity work that we do.
Oh, I thought it was dancing. I was like, wow, dude. That good?
No, the dancing actually got to Central and South America. There was articles written about me and blogs and shit, which was weird because, first of all...
Aren't you a Salvadorian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Salvadorian, right?
Yeah. I didn't fucking know about them until people reached out to me and said, yo, dude, they're writing about you. And it was people from those countries sending me the articles.
Did you need a shirt that says, like, I'm big in El Salvador?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm famous in El Salvador.
They didn't fucking reach out to me to ask for a quote or some shit like that. But I think even the podcast stuff, right? Like the what we're doing or just putting out videos, there could be a lot of I don't know. People could talk shit about it. You know, people could say negative things. But I say, you know what, man? Fuck it. I want to screw it. I want to do it. Yeah. I want to do it. And then what ends up happening is a lot of those shit talkers are the ones that ask me, like, hey, can I come on the podcast?
Yeah.
Or, hey, how are you doing it? And it's like, hey, remember when you were the one talking shit?
That's what I said, man. The man in the arena. You can't say anything. Mm-hmm. Like, as long as they're trying to do something, don't ever talk shit about it.
And with him, and where I started, and even now, like I still don't post probably as much as I should. And these are things that were, I saw let's say like the benefit, because from him doing his TikTok videos,
you started dancing.
No, from him doing his TikTok videos, it allowed us to raise. I think there was somebody, because again, it got us on the news. We're on Channel 62, mm-hmm. which is Spanish station. We're on Channel 7.
Estrella TV.
I'm sorry?
Estrella TV.
Yeah, Estrella TV, right? And then somebody saw it, and then they went and they donated $2,000, right? Which was the doctor. And then the next day, somebody went in and donated $20,000.
Damn.
It's like, fuck, like how many kids can that help? How many kids?
And then someone went and donated $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So
just from his dumbass fucking videos of him dancing, it's just like
Jabberwocking.
You don't know, you don't know how much of an effect it can have. So it's like, all right, I need to, like, again, it's not like a fear, but it's just like, I just need to post it. I just need to like do it, because you don't know who's watching or who it can help. Or some of the videos that we post either from the podcast or like whatever. Some girl told me the other day, she's like, I really enjoy your podcast. Like, you're really good at it, and your running videos, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, like thank you.
Yeah.
Or people would hit me up when I used to do like my little 45-day challenges. Like, hey, I really didn't feel like working out today, but like, you know, I woke up this morning and I saw that you already biked fucking 30 miles. You're eating an acai bowl.
Are you big on social media?
Me?
Yeah. Like,
I have like 4,000 followers.
No. But like, do you actively partake in it, or what's your view on it?
I recently deleted everything on there, and I'm going to start posting again once we get the company going. But no, I'm not like a big influencer at all.
No, but not necessarily like the influencer. But is it more? Are you averse to it? Do you see the positive? Is it negative?
The positive and the negative, because I think right now it's terrible for young kids. Because what you're doing is, we know that people are only posting the good things. Kids don't know that people are only posting the good things, and they think their life sucks. They're like, oh, my life sucks because, you know, look at this person, they're here, they're there, look at what this person's doing. And when you start comparing yourself to other people, you start to become very depressed, because you're like, I should be further in life, or I should be doing this. And so for young kids, I think it's terrible for them to have it. But on the flip side, if we could monetize it in a way to make kids feel better about themselves, or like change the algorithm to where kids feel better about themselves. Like, don't they say that China changed their algorithm for TikTok, so they only see like positive things on there?
Science experiments.
Yeah, and then here we only see like negative, like all the negative stuff, like whatever's bad going on in the world.
I think with the algorithm, when people try to blame it for stuff, and I'm like, nah, because it's not even a double-edged sword, but it's, when you see shit, that's because that's what you subscribe to, right? So if you're fucking
don't go to my search, look at my search, dude.
So if all you see is
here's
fucking...
a challenge: go to your Instagram page, go to your search page,
and see what comes up.
Oh man,
what's that? The discovery page?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
screenshot that and put it on your stories. And I'm like, yeah,
dude, mine right now is like cars.
Your discovery,
dudes fighting.
Is that your discovery?
This is my discovery page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Do not look at mine. It's not that bad.
See, but that's
I got nervous.
But that's one of the things. If you're always looking at negative shit, that's what's going to come up on your algorithm.
Did you know about someone when you see their Netflix searches, or when you see their Netflix suggestions?
Yeah. What's on there? Narrate it.
Yeah, we're not posing that.
Let me see. Let's see what's on mine. A bunch of big ass. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Rambo.
What is it? Rambo. Some homeless people in LA. Here we go. Yeah, these are pretty good. I think I know her.
I think I've injected her with some peptides.
So mine is...
What is your sports, eggs, and hot dudes?
Yeah, basically.
Actually, I follow that hot guy. These good abs, dude. Like,
Great.
there's some of these workout videos where I just start following them, and then my search is like just dude with six packs. I'm like, this is.
And then I gotta change it.
Yeah, you're like,
because I'm
oh.
like, oh shit. I'm like, giving props to someone who's doing something, or that where I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, that's a cool one. But then afterwards, that's what pops up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want. So then I gotta go back, look for something different, like a bunch of shit. So then my algorithm reads as if I'm
right. My TikTok algorithm is really good. I like my TikTok because I don't talk to anybody on there because I don't really like know anyone on there, but I follow like all the conspiracy stuff, like the pyramids and like just random
aliens.
Stuff. Ancient alien stuff. So all my feed is exactly what I want it to be, dude.
See, there you go.
No
See,
memes,
that's what I'm
nothing.
saying. So it's like, it's bad for kids. It's just like, well, what the fuck are they watching? Because it can be good, right? And that's what I tell people. I don't follow World Star Hip Hop. I don't follow Fools Gone Wild. I don't follow any of that.
It's everybody I follow.
Yeah. I don't follow any news organizations. So if you look
Feeling
on
really attacked right now, bro.
If you look at the algorithm, it's like it depends on what you subscribe to.
Yeah.
So as much as it can be bad for kids, it's just like, no, dude, on mine, it's like you have Andrew Huberman, like Joe Rogan, comedians, like personal development stuff, entrepreneurship, workout stuff, like all the things that can also be beneficial to somebody. And instead of making a little kid feel bad, it's like you can pump it with positivity.
Yeah.
And you can look at it with good stuff that can help that little kid grow.
Yeah.
And different perspectives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you read a lot of books?
Yes and no. I'm a book collector.
He's like not a book reader.
I buy them. I don't fucking read them.
No, I do read books. One of my favorite books is called The Empty Boat by Osho. It's a really, really good one. He just talks about kind of like letting go of your ego. The Atomic Habits is really good. Rocket Fuel is good about management. And then you have The Tipping Point is a good one too.
I've read Atomic Habits. I've heard of The Tipping Point. I like Audible, but I also like physical books. I'm like a little bit of both. Like there's certain things where I have to reread it. I gotta look at it. I gotta try to understand it differently than like a story.
Yeah.
Right. Like a story, I like to hear a story. I can just like imagine everything. I've talked about this on the podcast with that guy Ricky, where I feel certain books need to be heard and not read. Because you're going to read it in your tone of voice, and you don't know the message that they're trying to convey.
Have you heard of Blinkist? The app Blinkist?
No.
It's what they do is they take every chapter of a book and they break it down in a summary for you, so you can listen to a whole book in like 20 minutes.
So it's like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
So those ones that you just named, like what are they about? Is it more like management or?
So there's a lot of them. Like Osho is really good. That one's about the ego, and it's a kind of like Osho. I don't want to say he's like Buddhist. I don't know.
Sutra?
But it's about like letting go. And there was one, I'm totally going to botch this story. There's one story in that book that really made me, he talks about, like I said, I'm going to botch this story. It's basically about a king, and he has a son who thinks he's a rooster. And the son has, the king had every doctor in all the best doctors come through to try to fix his son. And he was like, dude, I don't know what's wrong. Like, none of these doctors are working.
They're like, dude, he just likes cock.
And so one of the guys is like, you know what? I think I might have somebody for you. Someone knocks at the door. He opens it, and there's this old man standing there. And the old man's like, where is he at? And he's like, he's over there. So the old man takes his clothes off, just like the kid does, which is getting this sounding really weird. But he goes and he gets under the table with the kid. And the kid's like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm a rooster too. He was like, what? He was like, yeah, I'm a rooster too, but I fooled all these people into thinking that I'm a human. And so he, long story short, the kid comes out and then just is normal. And it was kind of like being able to relate with somebody to help them through their problems, or kind of like that. I mean, that book is really good.
What is it called again? Osho?
It's called
Osho.
Empty Boat.
Empty Boat. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good book. Rocket Fuel's about management. That one's really good if you're running a company.
But like for you right now, running your company, is it more like from an investor's perspective or from...
No, just like being able to manage your team.
So you have a team?
We have about 4 people that work for us now.
Okay.
So not a very big team. And right now we're all about outsourcing. So we're going to outsource a lot of the work because having a full in-house team is just, in this stage that we're in, that doesn't make any sense. So, but are you guys reading any books?
I would, dude, I was just talking about this 2 days ago. I was reading, there's a book called 100 años de soledad. 100 years.
What did you just say?
100 años de soledad. 100 years of loneliness.
Solitude.
And it's a very, very revered book. It was written in 68 or 69. I think the guy is Colombian. He won like a Nobel Prize for it or whatever. And it's about a fictional place called Macondo, and it's about a family and it's a lineage of them. But it's fucking perverted. It has incest. It has, like, I thought it was going to be...
So it's like 50 Shades of Grey in Spanish.
Yeah.
He's crying in the corner, just with his clothes off.
But it's again, it's very well written. It's very descriptive. It's very well written.
So
just the subject matter.
What is it like?
It's a novel. It's
a novel.
Like,
yeah,
see, I can't read those, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm listening to it. But yeah, like the girl that I took to Downey the other day, she was telling me that like a lot of people started to like question because a lot of his books have to do with like incest and kind of like pedophilia.
That's just some fucking weird stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's well written, but the subject matter, I'm just like, because at first it was talking about kind of like alchemy and again, like this fictional place, but the subject matter is just a little fucking weird for me. So I didn't
get my dollars.
So that was
like, hey, I don't take dollars, I take Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. That was but I listen. My Audible has a lot of books. Again, just like anybody else, I like music, but I like stories a lot. And I like information. So like when I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to a book.
I like to go on YouTube and listen to a lot of podcasts like Dr. Huberman and stuff like that. But
who's Dr. Huberman?
He's a swole
he's a
doctor.
neurosurgeon.
Yeah, he's a head of neuroscience at Stanford.
Neuroscience, yeah.
Yeah, and he's been on Joe Rogan. He has his own podcast. So he has Huberman Lab podcast where we discuss science and science-based tools for everyday life.
Yeah, here's the funny thing, man. We have a podcast. I don't fucking listen to podcasts.
Really? Dude, I'm at the age now though where like, remember when we were kids and like the guy would come down the street listening to AM radio like full blast? I'm that guy now. Mm-hmm. But it's podcasts.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. And you know, he's reading a novel right now. The books that I've bought recently are all novels. Most of them are novels because I want to disconnect from, I think, the intellect, like my brain actually reading, let's say, a Tony Robbins or fucking things that are more self-development.
Yeah.
I want to go on down a fucking rabbit hole of a story. And so when I'm listening to a podcast like Joe Rogan, which I really like, or any other interesting podcast, first of all, I have to see it because I'm not a auditory. I'm a visual learner, but I don't want anything in my mind any more than like my job and what I do for finance. Yeah. And so like very rarely will I watch a podcast, very rarely, and I have to watch it. I can't listen to it. I used to listen to NPR.
That's like AM radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I used to listen to NPR, listen to podcasts. And again, I was so consumed with information. The news. Yeah. So the news, NPR, then I'd watch CNN, then I'd watch Fox, then I would watch Bill Maher, like as far as like political content.
Yeah.
Always just information, which is what he does now. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, do you not listen to podcasts all the time?
Yeah, but I'm not listening to CNN.
No, you're not, but you receive information over and over and over. And so I needed to create space. And I've always loved music. And so I just...
Do you play instruments?
I used to.
Yeah.
The meat pipe.
The cowbell.
Yeah.
The skin flute.
Do you play instruments or no?
No, I learned a little bit of guitar when I was younger, but like enough to get by, but not enough to start a band. Like I could play rhythm guitar. Like I could be the guy that's on stage, but
Just
you're like, I
kinda
didn't know
like-
he was in the band. You're like, no, I'm just here to like.
Just like
Yeah. There's a couple chords.
Yeah,
Just repeating.
I can play along
your tattoos.
enough to fake it. Dude, these are from all walks of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got
What's that one right there? The one right in the little.
this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw it's like a really cool Indian painting,
Uh huh.
and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So that's pretty much
Is
a lot
that-
of these done.
What's your first one?
Um,
Did you have a Flame Boy tattoo?
what?
You know, like the little Wet Willie and
Flame
Flame
Boy?
Boy?
No, man.
You remember
Not
those
me.
little fingerboards and stuff like that?
No,
No?
not
Oh.
me. I think the star was my first one. Yeah, and then this one was done in my friend's house with a single needle. Took
Damn.
forever to do that one. And then this one was done off Hollywood Boulevard with a friend who didn't know how to do tattoos and started coloring it green. Now it looks like an octopus,
Mm.
but it's supposed to be Medusa.
I could see the snake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, and
You
just
do have you have a Native American somewhere, right? With like a headdress?
yeah, on my chest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You getting more or you're done?
Dude, I don't know. I say I'm done. I actually want to take some off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why
You
is there a
know how
month?
many tattoos do you want to take off?
No.
No? Yeah, some I want to take off.
He has a lot
I
of
mean, I have a tramp stamp, but it means a lot to me. So,
It's helpful.
so, yeah.
It's helpful. Comes in handy.
But it's really my tattoo artist is taking off a lot of his right now.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him in a couple weeks, and then I saw him. I'm like, dude, like those are going, and they're face tattoos and neck tattoos, and it's like
Damn.
they look like they're almost gone.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a buddy who used to have his whole body tattooed, and it's been such a he's been doing it for so long that I almost didn't recognize, notice that they were gone because it was over time. Like they just
Right.
slowly started
Just fade
disappearing.
away.
And now I see a picture, and I'm like,
So the other day, I mean, I'm always fucking writing on myself, right? So like, I'll draw my hands. So I had some work that I had drawn right here, and someone goes, "Oh, is that a new tattoo?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's pen." I said, "Oh, that's a new thing, though. I've been seeing a lot of people with faded tattoos." Now I'm like,
faded tattoos?
I don't think that's a thing. I was like, it's one of two things. It's a
Taking it
shitty
off?
old tattoo, or they're taking off a tattoo.
Yeah.
There is no. I'd like a faded.
You do it really light.
Like really faded. I'm like, yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of people like that. I'm like, no.
I don't know. I don't have any. I don't think I would remove any tattoos. I do wish some of them look better, but
I have a lot of those. Yeah.
it's I think the meaning behind, for me, I always tell people it's like whatever tattoo you get, it's whatever story you've told yourself. Because people are like, well, that doesn't really mean this. It means this.
Dude,
It's like,
I almost got when I was
A
18
Russian tattoo.
an SRH tattoo
wow.
on the inside of my arm. Because the spade, remember the spade?
He doesn't know what SRH
I have
means.
no
You
idea.
don't know SRH?
Supporting radical habits.
It
It was
was-
like that
it
bro
was
tattoo.
like it was like the bro one from the 909er, like the spade.
you remember,
Almost got it. And I walked into a skate shop, and this girl that worked at the skate shop overheard me telling my friend, I want to get the spade tattoo. My arm. She's like, don't do it.
Why?
She's like, don't do it. You're going to regret it later in life. And I was like, all right, I won't do it. And I didn't do it. And I'm so glad I didn't get it.
Why?
you remember
Dude,
the-
it is
Supporting
like-
radical habits? What's wrong with that?
No.
it was a clothing
is-
brand, like the bro.
But the SRH is like
DC?
it was like a bro. Like remember like the bros of like
the
the
monster
Bill
hats
Yeah.
and
like
fucking
Metal Militia dudes.
Yeah.
That was like that culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have still had that.
Dude, you know the first time I met
Okay, I thought it meant something racist now, but
No.
okay. Like, no, that wouldn't have been bad. I mean,
No.
you know.
yeah, it's when I met Huffman, right?
Yeah.
So Huffman and Lockhart got hired at the same time. And I was training
Those
right.
are like fucking financial crime guys, you know?
Who?
Huffman and Lockhart.
Yeah. Huffman and Lockhart
Sounds like an attorney.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Huffman and Lockhart.
Mhm. But I was training Ryan, right? And again, you kind of know Ryan, right?
I went to high school with him.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know how like easygoing and just kind of like whatever people say, he's just kind of like, oh yeah. And I remember we got back to the fuel farm, and I'd seen Andrew, and I was like, "This
The fuel farm."
Because we were at the airport, so we used to be fuelers, we refueled the trucks. And I was like, "This is fucking idiot right here." He had the spy glasses on.
Who did, Ryan?
No, Huffman.
Oh yeah,
right.
Spy glasses?
Spy, like the brand.
No.
Dude, how old are you, man?
Christ.
I just don't remember shit.
Are you
Hey, give me some of that shit for my memory, bro.
Exactly. So
Spy was like the things that we put on your face when you bleach your hair, when you bleach the tips of your hair.
Cholos had Lokes.
Right.
And then
everyone else had Spy. So when you bleach, your tips, you got Spy glasses.
Exactly.
Are you talking about just like Oakley's, like weird?
No, dude.
It's just a stereotypical brand for.
I know blue blockers. All right, I know blue blockers.
So he's bald white boy, right? Spy glasses. He obviously has on his like work shirt or whatever, but he's wearing like Dickies, like the high white socks and Vans. And I was like, look at this fucking idiot.
Dude, this was like the typical 909 like
spy glasses, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then I tell Ryan, I'm like, this fucking idiot right here. And then he's just agreeing with me, right? And then we're, like refilling the fucking truck, and they start talking. And then I was like, once Andrew leaves, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, you know him? He's like, yeah, we got hired at the same time. And I was like, oh, okay. He's just like, he's been my best friend since like 3rd grade. And I was like,
these glasses, remember these? Those ones? You don't remember those?
No.
How do you not remember that, man?
Dude, yeah.
With the cross?
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, these are dope.
Yeah, but these were it when we were younger. Those ones.
Those look like Lokes, kind of. Actually, no, they don't. But these are dope. I like these. Monolith Spy Optic. Ooh, those are nice. See, I'd buy those, man, but I'm gonna fucking lose them.
Yeah, I can't do glasses.
Dude, these are the ones that Ben gave me years ago.
Kirkland?
The poet.
Yeah, Kirkland.
Yeah, he saw a video recently. He's like, ooh, I still see you have the glasses. Because he was wearing them. I'm like, oh, it's nice glasses, man. He was like, here, a gift for you. He just took them off and gave them to me. I don't know when's the last time I bought a pair of glasses. Like, expensive glasses, I don't think I've ever purchased a pair.
Just found them.
I've had
my old ones.
Yeah.
My old ones.
Yeah. I've had some Ray-Bans, the Ray-Ban Justins.
I've never bought a pair. People just gifted them, and then I fucking lose them.
Yeah.
And then I figured out that if you buy 7-Eleven glasses,
you'll never lose them.
You never fucking lose them.
No. Mm-hmm. And they don't break. You can sit on them.
Dude.
Drop them from an airplane. They'll still be good.
I'm down.
$20. Sometimes you get 2 for $20.
Yes.
Kind of depends.
Or like in Vegas or on vacation, you just buy like some cheap ones, and then you never lose them.
And I always get glasses that don't. It's just like they kind of match my face, but they don't. Like I'll get them like super oversized. I'm just like, who gives a shit, dude? I'm just needing them to block the sun from my fucking face. Yeah, can't do like. We have friends that have expensive. Well, I guess.
Do you ever watch anything on the pyramids?
Oh yeah.
Dude, what are your thoughts on that? I've fallen down a deep rabbit hole.
What do you think it is?
I've fallen down a deep. I even had my 8-year-old nephew today. He was like trying to, which is really weird. He was trying to watch.
He's like, he was trying to explain it to me.
He was trying.
He's like, look, a ziggurat.
He was trying to watch a video of a kid playing video games, and I was like, what? Wait, hang on a second. You're watching a video of a kid playing video games? You would have been the perfect little brother, dude, because you could have just watched me play all day long.
Didn't have to. I wouldn't have to share the control.
Yeah, and so I was like, this is dumb. So we put on. I was like, I'm gonna teach you know the pyramids. He's like, no, what? And I was like, the pyramids. So I put it on. But my thought is,
hold on. Have you seen Ancient Apocalypse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Graham Hancock.
Yeah. What'd you call me?
What'd you ask me to
do? So we were watching that, but so first the other night I fell asleep watching like the Nikola Tesla documentary, which is wild because it talks about how basically he was trying to give out free energy to the whole world, right? So where he built this tower, he grounds it. He shot out like within 6 miles. He blew out like a power plant or something like that from his experiment, what he was doing. Then I started watching the pyramid stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, this used to be. There could have been a power plant, blah blah blah." And they talk about it, and then it goes off with all the different pyramids. They found one in Antarctica now. They found a pyramid, and they're talking about like how these could have all been power plants, and everyone around the world could have had free power, and that's where all these power tools came from that they thought the Egyptians had. All kinds of crazy shit. There was a much higher, much smarter, more advanced civilization than we are now before the big flood happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
and that's what you believe.
That's what the rabbit hole I've fallen down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, I just wanted to ask him that because you know.
You know what's weird is I don't know if it's an age thing or a time thing, but that stuff has always interested me. Right? History, like the Egyptians, pyramids. Again, we were talking about this the other day when we were talking about girls asking dudes how often they think about the Roman Empire. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a video of a bunch of girls.
That's really funny because I think about that quite a bit.
So do I. So does he.
Ancient Greece.
All the fucking time.
Dude,
Yeah.
and it's interesting to me, and it's always been interesting to me as I was a little kid. Like
You're just
watching...
like in your backyard training.
But like Greek mythology, right? Yeah. That has always interested me. Roman mythology.
I think about the pyramids is more than I think about Rome.
But I'm saying like things that have to do with like history or things about like the world. As a little kid, it was always interesting to me. And like you said, little kids are watching other little kids play fucking video games.
I want to show them the video.
Yeah,
but why do they like to watch other kids playing video games? That's just so weird.
I don't get that. It's so weird.
I don't get it.
But it's one of the things that I had seen or that maybe I had read about her. I don't fucking know. Is like.
What do you think about the what? The Roman Empire. Like Marcus Aurelius, Alexander the Great Roman Empire? Yeah, or like anything about it. How often do I think about it? Yeah. I mean, not like, I don't know, probably a lot of cool shit happened back then.
But the whole point is, it's like a compilation.
It's weird because you don't ever ask people that. So it's like, are we all thinking about it just as much?
Dude,
men?
I am. I think about it all the time. Like right now, you just talked about Roosevelt, right?
Yeah.
In the ring. Immediate
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, can you imagine that? Can you imagine fighting lions?
Tired.
Like
I do it all the time.
Like, did you see? I ever see the American Gladiator documentary that came out?
Oh, I saw part of it.
Dude, that was awesome. How did we bring that back? But like with like horse and like carriages where you hitting people?
You trying to be like Hector and Achilles?
Not American gladiators. We're about like Italian gladiators. You know what I mean? Like, being a little wild.
It's we were just at the forum.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we were just at the forum 2-3 nights ago.
Saturday.
Okay, something like that. So I don't know, 6 days ago, 5 days ago. The point is, I'm sitting there, and all I could think about was, "Damn, dude, this is like a forum. This is a forum, literally called the Forum, and it's like almost like in a horseshoe, you know. And I'm looking at the architecture, like how is this fucking built?" And just immediate rewind to like the Colosseum and like, damn, this is where the lions would come out and fucking. That's all going in my fucking mind, and I'm sitting there not saying shit, and I
just such raging.
I think about it all the time.
It's like I told you, there's that documentary on Netflix, and it talks about like Greece and how Greece became such a big influence and a power. And you know why it was? Because of fucking olive oil.
Yeah.
Just because of olive oil.
The girl from Popeye?
But like, so for example, like me, even like now that like I'm like decorating my house, right? I want to get something of Odysseus, right? I remember watching the movie Odysseus. There's a poet who wrote 2 poems called the Iliad, and the Odyssey. Right, so it talks about like Achilles, and then it's this guy's like journey home or whatever. Right, he has to go back to Ithaca, but all those things again like interest me about like Alexander, about Greece, about Rome, and there is another documentary that I was telling him, which is a little bit more recent, and it's called "The Men Who Built America: The Pioneers."
I think I saw that.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
Dude,
it talks about
is that where they're like walking on like steel beams? I can't even stand on top of a building.
That's they have one that has to do with like Rockefeller, Carnegie, and like the steel people.
Yeah.
But this is like pioneers of like Davy Crockett, and
like
then
Oregon Trail.
Correct.
Got it.
Lewis and Clark, and it talks about how Lewis and Clark, how it was a guy, fucking Davy Crockett, who had ventured a little bit further than the initial 13 colonies, and he went fur trapping, but he got chased out by, I think it was like, I don't know, fucking the Choctaw Indians or whatever it was. So he came back not only with no fucking fur traps, he came back in debt. So there was a judge who wanted to expand, even though the English weren't allowing any more expansion, but he was just like, fuck that. So he hired him to fucking go out there and start to like blaze a trail, because he had already been past that. And then from Davy Crockett, it goes to fucking Lewis and Clark, and then it goes to like all these different fucking people who help build and found the United States. And that's history, and it's something that fucking, to me, is super fucking interesting. Every time I'm out in the wild, right, I'm like, fuck, imagine this like 200 years ago, dude. Like, no fucking lights, like, it's just you and your fucking horse, and God knows fucking what.
All you gotta do is go to Mississippi, bro. You'll be right back there.
And like what you were talking about, the landscapes, right, in the United States, they talked about how when Lewis and Clark came across the Rocky Mountains and looking at them for the first time, and how difficult it was for them to, with Sacagawea, and they had to go through before winter to like try to like get past like the Rocky Mountains. And I'm like, dude, how fucking bananas were these fucking people who just be like, hey, manifest destiny. Head that way.
I mean, shit, as long as you got bullets, right? Like,
fuck no, dude. Native Americans, fucking bears,
yeah, fuck
fucking
that. Nah.
all kinds of shit. They uncovered
spirits,
or they discovered, I'm sorry, like 150 animals, 150 like different plants. Like the grizzly bear, fucking Lewis and Clark, or one of the goddamn bears. Imagine seeing that shit for the first fucking time. That shit must have been bananas, and how crazy and adventurous fucking people were, or how like,
I mean, obviously adventurous and fucking just, I mean, it's just different. It's even like with what you were saying about like the pyramids, people just did things different way back then. There's obviously Graham Hancock.
Say that 3 times fast.
Graham Hancock.
Say it 3 times really fast.
You gotta say it like with the Graham Hancock. He talks about, and in Joe Rogan, about lighter technology, like in the Amazon, right? Like all the pyramids that are actually in the Amazon, or cities that are in the Amazon, undiscovered, right? Because they're completely covered. And so, you know, the Lewis and Clark going out into,
well, the way that they did things back then, this is crazy. So speaking of the Amazon, there's this thing called biochar. Have you guys ever heard of biochar? Biochar. So if you think about charcoal, if you think about charcoal and you put it in, you pour water through it, and what does it do?
Filter water.
Filters it out, right? So what they were doing in the Amazon, if you fly over the Amazon, this guy noticed that there was like circle patches of a lot of green, like lush, thick jungle. He was like, this is not natural. Like, why are these in perfect circles? Not to reference a band, but why are these in perfect circles as he's flying over? So he goes down and he starts digging, and he noticed that it was all black soil. And so he takes it back, and what he realized that they were doing, and the reason why the Amazon is so lush and dense with forest, and it keeps growing, is because they were putting charcoal in the ground, which is called biochar. And what it was doing is holding onto the microbes and allowing them, like when the water flushes through, it doesn't wash them out. So it sits there and holds all these beneficial microorganisms, and they keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And it's like come to life. It's like little condos for microorganisms to live in. And that's what they were doing. And that's why the Amazon is so lush. So if we were to take this now and put this in our soil here, which is all completely destroyed, it would essentially over time start to bring life back into our soil.
It's crazy stuff. They were crazy smart. I don't know how the fuck they built the pyramids. I don't know if I could have been a Lois and Clark. I mean, I'd want to say I'd want to be a Lois and Clark.
Yes.
Lewis, Lois? It's not Lois and Clark?
Lois.
Lois and Clark? Oh, yeah, it's Lewis. Lewis. Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark is Superman.
There you go.
He's
like, I could be a Lois.
I could be Lois. Fuck yeah. Go up there and fly with
He's like
Christopher Reeve. Hey, so who's your Superman? Like legit of all the Superman. Not like who's your Superman. But of all the Superman, who's your Superman?
I was a Batman guy.
Okay, who's your Batman?
What was the one with the penguin movie? What was his name?
George Clooney?
No.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yes, that was my favorite one.
Really?
When I was a kid, I used to love that
And
one.
now that you're a grown man,
I still like the original one with the penguin, dude, and the Joker. The Joker one was pretty good with Heath Ledger, though.
Oh,
that one was really
Christian
good.
Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original one with the penguin was great. Remember that one, dude? Danny DeVito, just like
Jim Carrey was a Riddler.
Well, Colin Farrell is going to play an 8-part series of Hobblepotts. So Hobblepotts, that's his name. That's his original name, the Penguin.
Oh, really?
Hobblepotts, that's his last name. So he's going to do an 8-part series on, I think it's HBO or Showtime. Either HBO or Showtime on, the what got him to be the Penguin, which is fucking dope. Because I think he fucking plays an amazing Penguin.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito?
No, Colin Farrell.
Also, yes.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He did a very good Penguin. I wasn't a fan of that Batman, but
the Joker with
Joaquin?
No, fuck, I can't even think of his name.
It's Joaquin.
No, the Joker in the Batman, the first ones, the real movies that came out, Batman. Who was the one that was
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah. That was a good one.
Gotcha. That was a different way of shooting it. I think it was Tim Burton who did that.
Yeah, which I don't like Tim Burton that much.
Do you like Tim Burton? Oh, you have a fucking Jack Skellington tattoo.
Where?
Isn't that Jack Skellington?
No, just a melting face. I did acid one time, and
that's what I saw.
Yeah. We got tattoos afterwards.
Got it.
Yeah.
But do you like Tim Burton?
Not really. Not really.
I fucking hate Tim Burton.
He's the one that I like. The
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
There's some that Edward
I like.
Edward Scissorhands.
I like Edward Scissorhands, but dude, like,
I mean, I could say it's like there's a piece that I like, but I don't like his style as a director. Like, if someone were to say, "Oh, we're doing another Batman with that guy," or the guy that filmed Mulan, that's why Elvis, I knew it was gonna suck the moment that they said. The guy that did it was Moulin Rouge. It was the same.
Oh yeah, I didn't like.
I'm like, dude, no, it's not gonna be a good Elvis movie.
No.
You know what they're doing? Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But the new Joker is gonna have
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and
they said that it might be a musical,
correct.
and I'm like,
I
can't.
I was really stoked to go
off.
see the Elton John movie, and then I didn't realize it was a musical.
Yep,
and
you lose me at that shit, dude. Like,
yeah, I can't do musicals.
Nah,
like, dude, leave that to Disney or leave that to Glee.
Do musicals do that well to where people keep making them? Because they didn't do well, they would stop making them, right?
I think so, dude. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of ladies, bro.
Hamilton.
There's a lot of ladies in this, world.
Yeah,
50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's ladies with children, and they take children to movies versus like men. Like.
Yeah, I just saw Oppenheimer. That was great.
Oh, I thought it was a good movie. I think it was a bit too long. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I think I need to watch it at home because I was so impatient at the theater. I was just like, it's kind of like the other one, what's his name? The handsome dude, the white boy. Titanic boy.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Him.
Which movie?
Something on the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
I never saw that one. That wasn't good?
It was
I heard about it. That's the Indian one, right? Isn't it the Indian?
Yeah.
It's I like serious movies or movies that maybe don't necessarily have that, like maybe like action, kind of like Oppenheimer didn't have that.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where it's like if it's that type of movie, in my opinion, like it needs to be toned down, or I gotta watch it at home because I'm fucking sitting at the movie theater for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I want to leave.
Yeah.
This is not Lord of the Rings. Like, come on. There's no Orlando Bloom. Like,
dude,
come on.
I try to rewatch Lord of the Rings. Good movie. I remember when we watched it in the theaters, but I couldn't rewatch it. Dude, I got to when he's leaving the fucking Shire, and I was like, fuck off. Turn this shit off. I couldn't rewatch it. Yeah.
People like Game of Thrones. I've never gotten past the second one.
The second episode?
Yeah, it was
the second episode.
I never got into it.
You gotta give a show, I think, like 3 episodes.
Everyone's obsessed with Yellowstone too, and I didn't get.
I haven't seen it.
I've heard it's so good, but I hate Kevin Costner. So ever since Waterworld. So.
Ever since Waterworld, that was great, dude.
Miguel loves that fucking movie.
That was so good, Waterworld. I'd like to believe that would be Mel Gibson if the world flooded, but I don't think so. I can't hold my breath that long.
I love Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
not Mel Gibson as
Jason Momoa.
No, who did you just say from Waterworld?
Kevin
Costner. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner. I like Kevin Costner.
I don't.
I like Mel Gibson.
I like Mel Gibson.
Kevin Costner is really good.
Kurt Russell, banger.
Kurt Russell,
Kevin
for
Costner,
sure.
Nope.
Kevin
the Schways,
Kevin Bacon.
Dude,
yes.
I knew a guy who had a pig named Kevin Bacon.
Did he eat it?
I don't know, but he had a pig, and he had like Rottweilers, and they'd always fight with the pig. It was.
Dude, our neighbor had a pig when we were in fucking.
Yeah, this little hot white girl.
Dude, yeah, she was fucking hot.
She was very pretty, man.
Yeah,
she was very pretty.
Rhiannon. Yeah, that's her name.
What's her name?
What high school did you go to?
3 high schools: A.B. Miller, Etiwanda, Alta Loma.
I went to Rialto for a minute, man. That was.
You went to Rito?
That was
Rito Heights.
That was rough.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
Well, I went from Don Ligo and Chino, which is like cholos, but like not like Rialto.
Yeah.
Not like Rialto, dude. We had to wear IDs around our neck. There was like a metal detector to get in.
And then where did you, after Rialto, where did you go to?
Chino Hills High. That's where I finished.
So from Chino to Rialto back to Chino. You're like, man,
so I went from Chino to Rialto to Chino Hills. Which was way different.
He used to call it Chino Kills.
Way different. Because we used to then at Chino Hills we'd go to parties, and one of my friends, he had his parents' like ATM card, so he'd pull cash out. This is how different it was. He'd pull cash out, we'd buy beer, and then we'd sell it at the parties. We'd go to the parties and sell it to the kids there.
Were you around the time of Party Cruise or anything like that? Or not really?
No, yes and no. We had a crew called the Brew Crew. That was our name. But
that's like beer.
It was like just not really party crew. No, not really.
No.
Yeah, someone told me yesterday.
Those frat boys from high schools. It's like the white.
Wait, what year did you graduate?
2.
Oh, 2.
You're 3 years older than me, and you're.
Bro, I'm really.
You're a really old soul.
Yeah, extremely.
Really old soul with bleach tips.
Exactly, dude.
You know, like if we like when we cross over, then they go back to a certain age, right? Are you gonna go back to the age where like you have bleach tips? You think? When you're in heaven, are you gonna have bleach
puka shell necklace?
Or are you gonna?
Oh yeah, we're the fucking puka shells, bro. Puka shells, fucking tanned, self tanner. I remember the first time I fucked up and my hands were all like, because in between the knuckles and shit, or like even here, like around your nails.
You did black hand?
Yeah, exactly.
Or your hand get all orange.
Or get all orange, or like the orange streak, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go home. Or I go into the restroom and like, I gotta take this shit off. But I would seriously, I would be naked, bro. I would get naked and either, be in the restroom like for half an hour, naked with no phone, just standing there,
just doing what? Dude? He's all posing like
just doing nothing
in American Psycho,
or in the living room, just butt ass naked,
playing driver.
Yeah,
or
I wanted to be all tanned and shit. That was gym tan laundry before that fucking shit came around. Before Pauly D, before the situation, I needed to be tan as fuck.
Were you ever into video games?
What, Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
Oh, that's
I was just talking to the guy who was cutting my hair yesterday, and it was Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, Tony Hawk had such a good fucking soundtrack.
Dude, is it Goldfinger?
Oh yeah, 007?
No, not 007. Tony Hawk.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
it's the cop.
Dun,
Like
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I
dun.
know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that was the, like, I wonder if we played those games now and we streamed it, like would people watch us?
Yeah, dude, that's what Twitch is.
I know.
We should do that.
If we only
Hey,
played, like,
your nephew or whoever that kid is, he'll watch us.
dude, 007, 007,
We got our first subscriber.
007, Tony Hawk, N64.
Oh, dude, I'm
And
down.
we had like competitions. Would the people watch us? Like, because
Oh,
I played Donkey Kong. I got the Super Nintendo, like with all the games
I got that
preloaded.
too.
And literally, it's fucking muscle memory, dude. Like, I remember going up to a level that, like, I got PTSD that I never used to be able to pass it. And I got to the level, and my fingers went right back. And I was like, what is that?
are you doing this?
I did that with Donkey Kong. You know, we're in that stupid little like mine shaft.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Donkey Kong.
Boing. I fucking hate that level.
Dude, Donkey
I
Kong
haven't been able
is
to
like,
pass it.
dude, my eyes closed now, dude. Like, the muscle
Really?
memory. It was literally muscle memory. Like, I went back, and I was like, oh my God, I remember doing this. Like,
Dude, it has Aladdin. I play Aladdin on that one a lot.
it's kind of,
Uh,
makes a lot of sense.
dude, Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie. It has a shit ton of games on there. I don't
My
like that
favorite
little-
Disney movie is Fantasia.
Is it
Little Mickey Mouse, like just
the old
doing that
old
shit. Yeah.
one? Oh, I like Aladdin. It's my favorite.
I mean, I like Aladdin. Aladdin reminds me of my childhood because I think we want to go watch it in theater, right? You would know better than I do. You fucking remember everything. No?
I don't remember. Do you remember the first movie you saw in theaters?
It's a tough one. I don't know. Maybe E.T.?
Oh shit!
But I knew I was obsessed with E.T. when I was. See, that makes sense. The pyramids, dude. E.T.
So
trying to communicate through me.
So that's the thing about the pyramids because they find out a lot more shit throughout time, right? Like, you know, they do more research. There's more science available. It's funny in King Kong, they're moving rocks through gravity, right? Like, because there was hollow Earth. So the way King Kong is, the way that the Earth is set up is here's the Earth, and inside the Earth, it's called hollow Earth, and there's a civilization under there that fucking can move rocks, anti-gravity, you know?
Yeah.
And they just move them up and shit like that. They've tried to supposedly explain, you know, like pulleys and ropes and all that shit. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, what they're saying is they're saying that the pyramids used to give out the same frequency as the Earth, like a hum.
So that's what I was gonna say. Sound.
Yeah,
right,
and
vibrational.
Through vibrations, are able to move, and magnets and vibration. There's actually a place in Homestead in Miami where the guy built an entire stone museum all by himself, and then he died because the stone fell on him. He moved all of these stones by himself, and no one knew how he did it. But then when they went in, they found like speakers, like weird frequency stuff, and they're saying that's probably how he did it.
Well, because the military has weapons where it's like sound weapons, like
for
the riots, they have them where like it's
like the military where it's just like
sound.
and sound and I don't know, man.
You just start dancing.
Like Michael Jackson.
The whole crowd is just
There's
dancing.
a guy that was in the military who used to use sound to defend himself. His name was Guile from Street Fighter 2. And it was a sonic boom.
Sonic boom.
Yeah. One of my faves.
I remember being in 7th grade, dude, and I dressed up as an Egyptian because it was I don't know something, but I remember learning about cigarettes.
This was when you were allowed to go to other cultures, huh?
Yeah,
he was like, it was a Diddy party.
It was like we're learning about ziggurats, you know, like
what
was it? Ziggurats.
What is that?
It's like a pyramid, you know, and stone type pyramids.
Okay.
Right?
I was gonna say temple pilots.
Yeah, and so and our dad has always taught us history.
Yeah,
you know, since we were kids, he would tell us about Mesoamerica and like, you know, so many things about culture that it's always fascinated me. Like history's always fascinated me.
Yeah,
I'd like to know how the pyramids were built. I don't fucking know how they were built, but a lot of it makes sense, like where they're, finding those tunnels and hidden areas, and the way that he explains it in Ancient Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I'm like, I mean, it might not be it, but that's a plausible explanation.
They had it fooled as a tomb for all these years, and they never found one mummy inside there, and they said it was a tomb.
It might be plausible what the new explanation of what it is, right? Of like what Graham Hancock's theory is.
Yeah.
Who? It's so hard to fucking say his name. Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock. You say it.
Graham Hancock.
Graham Hancock.
You say it 4 times fast.
Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock.
No, fast, dude.
That's how as fast as I go, motherfucker.
Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock.
See, I'm telling you. Graham Hancock.
Continue.
Yeah, the pyramids. They're interesting to me, dude. I'd like to go be able to take a selfie on the top of a pyramid, but I don't think it's legal now.
No.
You can go up to a certain part.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to all that shit, man. Like how they're finding Alexandria basically in Egypt, right?
Who?
Alexandria. So Alexander the Great, which fucking conquered so many areas.
Alexander the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I say Alexandria?
Yeah.
No, but Alexander the Great. So there's all these paved roads in Egypt underground. So obviously it's a city. They're, continuing to outbuild the city. But as they keep digging down, they're starting to find paved roads of like the Roman Empire in Egypt. And it's Alexander the Great just being
fucking the Great.
The Great.
Alexander the Goat.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. That guy was gnarly, dude. I mean, Genghis Khan killed half the world's population.
He's still around, dude. He has a restaurant at Ontario Mills. He's still killing it, dude. He's still here.
Yeah, man. There's just some history. I wanted to be a history teacher before I did what I do.
Yeah.
And a history professor because I wanted to teach people that actually wanted to learn rather than, high school students or little kids that, again, they're not going to remember anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But history's always been a fascination of mine, dude. It's amazing what we can do as humans. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if you have PCP.
PCP and
PCP,
peptides.
you can do
PCP
everything,
157.
dude. BP.
Yeah. So we've been going for about 2.5 hours. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got the time there.
But one thing we always want to give our guests. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on. They always said that you were going to come on, so I appreciate it. He's told me a lot about you throughout the years. Who the fuck is this guy?
He's always talking about you too.
Talking about, man. Oh, so now I know.
It's great to finally come on and meet your brother that you've been talking about for so long.
I like to party.
Yeah, now I know who he talks about, and I can see why you guys get along because you have a great sense of humor and you're actually smart. So
he's like, I thought you were dumb as fuck.
Yeah, no, you're actually smart. It's like
people say.
A pretty girl. I'm like, oh shit, she has a brain too. You had a brain too, man. And so I appreciate you coming on. And so if people want to find out about your,
just go to embodywellnessclub.com or Embody Wellness Club on Instagram. Embody, like embody.
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 Okay, Embody. Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any message, final words, thoughts that you would leave the audience with?
I think we talked about everything, man.
Okay.
I think we kind of let it all out.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I think it was probably one of the funnest podcasts.
It was very well versed.
Very.
We went from Hollywood to pyramids to
monkeys,
the grinder,
Chateau Marmont. To Bali.
We should go there. We should go there sometime.
To Bali, Colombia.
Do they have a restaurant?
Yeah, that's where I was cleaning the tables at.
Yeah, I'm down to go.
We should go.
Yeah.
Dude,
love food.
As long as our bill's not $1,000.
No. Definitely.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Yes.
And
what are we doing now?
Want to go eat?
Yeah, let's go get some food.
All right. Yeah, hit up you want sushi?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Let me see if I can get us a spot.
You got the connects, huh?
Yeah, Without me take a reservation.
I'll go watch you guys eat.
I got a reservation at the Dorsia at 8:30.
Let me see, what time is it? I'm gonna go have a cigarette.
Have you tried Zins yet?
Ooh,
Zin?
Yeah, the little patches.
Dude.
Do you have any?
Patches?
I have some in my car.
I haven't felt an effect of the.
I have some in my car.
A patch?
No, they're